Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on Fox Local. I'm Jasmine Cornell. We have a lot of stories to get to this streaming hour, so I want to go ahead and talk about what Fox 5 is working on and bring in our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza. She has a look at some stories that broke this morning. This first one, a shooting investigation underway on Maple Street in Avondale Estates. So let's get into that first, Tanya. Have we received any new information on this shooting?
Right now, we're waiting on the Avondale Police Department to give us that information. But let me just start out with this happened over at the corner of Maple Street and Elm Street over in Avondale Estates. We found out because our assignment editor, Michelle Mandel, who is actually answering the phones right behind me, was on her way to work, and we heard about it. She drove by the scene and got some information straight from the Avondale police chief. So what he said was that an employee this morning was shot there outside of the shop, and they are still looking for a suspect in the case. No word on the victim's condition yet, but they said that in this hour, in the 1 p.m. hour, they will have a press release that they're going to send over to us. So we're looking forward to that, and once we get it, Jasmine, I will let you know.
Absolutely. A big thing here is that authorities are still searching for the shooter. So looking forward to what police have to say about this and where they're searching for this person. Right. Moving forward to this BeltLine stabbing, it's a second incident to happen in the last few months. So let's get into that. I know that person was expected to appear in court today, but they waived that appearance.
That's right. So there was a stabbing on the BeltLine over the weekend. A man by the name of Jonathan Hamby was the suspect in this case. He waived his first court appearance this morning following a weekend deadly stabbing over on the BeltLine near the Kroger on Ponce. So police state that Hamby argued with two men, yelled at one of them saying, "Back the blank up before I stab you." And then he lunged and stabbed a 29-year-old by the name of Ramon Harris with a neck wound. Responding officers, they say, quickly arrested Hamby and recovered the suspected weapon. So it's a big deal. The police chief was out there and had a press conference. Chief Darren Shearbaum gave us an interview at this press conference. Let's listen into what he had to say.
Mr. Hamby has an extensive criminal history and has been arrested multiple times by law enforcement, and we're currently showing 30 previous arrest cycles. We're showing that he is a convicted felon, and we're showing that he was on active probation for an aggravated assault that occurred in Brookhaven.
All right, so Jasmine, this morning, the mayor, Andre Dickens, he sent over a statement. That statement is on our website. Joyce put it on the website already, and he's demanding a systemic review of behavioral health, repeat offenders, and public safety failures, alongside a planned review of BeltLine camera coverage. So that story is what Rob DiRienzo is working on, but we're doing team coverage because it's such a big deal. And we have Annie Mapp actually interviewing one of the witnesses that saw all this go down, so they are both going to have updates for you throughout the day. Jasmine.
Yes, I know some residents there are concerned. People who live in that area, who frequent the BeltLine, are concerned about safety after the second stabbing. And then also many people asking, why was this guy who's been arrested at least 30 times back on the streets, a convicted felon? So a lot of questions that need to be answered here.
And this seems to be a repeat conversation that we're having. Why is this person back on the streets after crimes? We keep hearing that question asked of police departments. And, we are hoping that Rob gets a few answers on that today. And then Annie's going to have that interview with the witness. We're also trying to get the video that the witness provided that's been on social media. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it this weekend. So we'll have more on that story later.
I know that video is very disturbing there. Tanya, let's get into this arson in Cherokee County, a fire that happened, and now police believe someone started it.
That's right. So authorities in Cherokee County, the Cherokee County Fire Department says that a man by the name of Jackie Ingram was charged with first-degree arson following a massive overnight fire on Bells Ferry Road. Cherokee County firefighters arrived just before 1 a.m. to find a home fully engulfed in flames, forcing them into a defensive strategy. While all of the human occupants escaped safely, homeowner Lori Ingram confirmed that their family dog Casey tragically did not survive. Let's listen into an interview with her.
We were in bed near midnight, and my husband saw a flash of light and told me to get out because there was a fire, and by the time we got to the door, the house was just fully inflamed and full of black smoke.
All right, Jasmine, so that's the story that Ray Yedena, our reporter, is working on out of Cherokee County. He did say that Lori Ingram did tell him that the suspect is her brother-in-law who was living with them, and he has struggled with mental illness. That's the story out of Cherokee County, and we'll have more details on that a little later as well. Jasmine?
Definitely showing a broader picture here that we do have to take mental illness as a society more serious. Pretty scary here. This woman now having to look for a new home because her home was destroyed in this fire. And there's one more thing
Really
that
sad.
you want. Yes, absolutely.
I just want to mention one thing before we leave. I have no reporter working on this, but I'm just super excited about it. Tomorrow's the start of PSL season, pumpkin spice latte season.
Pumpkin spice latte.
I know like Starbucks and others are going to be rolling out their pumpkin spice menus, but you can actually make it at home, just mixing up a little cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove and putting it in your favorite fall drink. So that's happening tomorrow.
So Tanya, I'm going to look for you to bring me some pumpkin spice latte this week. How about that?
I will. I'll make you a homemade version.
That sounds good. Thanks, Tanya.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move forward with some other stories that we're following here on Fox Local. So moving now to Alpharetta, we could be closer to getting a professional hockey team as a massive redevelopment of North Point Mall may soon be reality here. City leaders are considering a massive redevelopment of North Point Mall, including a 20,000-seat arena, restaurants, hotels, housing, and entertainment. So you're taking a look here at what the area could look like. The proposal goes before city leaders today as council members consider the zoning and land use requests. Residents will also have a chance to weigh into this proposal. And of course, we'll keep you updated what happens there at North Point Mall. Moving now to Atlanta's South Side, more accessible health care is coming to that area. Morehouse School of Medicine and Atrium Health plan to open a new teaching hospital that will help people, of course, living on the South Side and the West Sides. The proposed plan will help fill the healthcare gap caused by 2 Wellstar shutdowns in previous years. And the $700 million building will feature a level 3 trauma center, 24-hour emergency care, and a connected network of clinics within Fulton County. So some good news for residents in that area. Again, this is on the South Side. More accessible health care coming to that area, and will also serve people who live on the West Side. Now to a case that we've been covering for a few years now, several months. So a judge in Collin County, Texas, ruled against a new trial for Carmelo Anthony. He was convicted of fatally stabbing a 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet last year. The story, of course, gained national attention, and I know you've been seeing it on your social media pages. In June, 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony was sentenced to 35 years in prison after the jury in that county rejected Anthony's claim of self-defense and found he intentionally stabbed Metcalf during an altercation. The motion against a retrial came after 2 days of testimony and the recusal of the previous judge to maintain impartiality in the case. The defense can still appeal the decision, and they are expected to appeal this decision. We'll keep you updated on the story as we learn more. Well, today marks the second week of witness testimony in the murder trial for Tupac Shakur. The only man charged in his murder back in court, that's Dwayne Davis, in that Las Vegas courtroom, as prosecutors continue to present their case to 12 jurors and 4 alternates. We're going to take a live listen to this. Again, prosecutors don't think that Davis killed Tupac. They believe that he was a part of orchestrating his murder. So let's take a listen.
For parties in their backyard, like pool parties. He talked about a baseball coach at the Compton College who was dealing drugs. I think he was like in middle schooler, and he started running as kind of a courier for that guy. It was his first introduction to the drug game. He talked about being in the Upward Bound program at UCLA, and there may have been one other detail in there, but all details that I've only ever heard in that interview and read in his book. So I conclude that the author could have only gotten those from him.
All right, Judge, I'm going to have to do a little bit to fast forward this to 35:17, I think we were at.
And we put on record when you paused it. Did you write that down?
It was 35:17 was where we paused
Okay.
it. And so I'm trying to get there. This program doesn't make it real easy to just jump that far.
Sounds good.
Nope, I went a little too far.
You don't think? Man, my boy Dick was rolling up,
It's going to give us
he's going to the club tonight, rolling up weed in the neighborhood.
So here's the problem.
I guess they know.
Sorry, Judge, the transcript won't come up if I don't start it at 17A.
Start it over?
I'm not starting it over. I just have to roll from here to wherever we're going.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have to guess, and hopefully we're close.
No, we had ran into him at the House of Blues.
Sorry. One more.
Taking a live look here at the murder trial for Tupac. We know that testimony started last week, and we heard from witnesses who described what happened the night that Tupac was murdered. We also heard from detectives and even an audio between Davis and investigators. So decades after his death, you all know Tupac remains a cultural icon and one of the most influential and versatile rappers of all time. So, of course, we'll be following this story here on Fox Local and bring it to you live this week. Another big trial happening in Massachusetts this time. So closing arguments are expected to begin this week in the trial for Lindsay Clancy. If you don't remember, she's the mother accused of strangling her 3 young kids to death back in 2023. Now, the defense argues Lindsay Clancy should not be held criminally responsible for this, saying she was suffering from postpartum psychosis during the time of these killings, while prosecutors say she deliberately planned the murders of her children. Fox's Kaylee Schuyler joins us live from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Kaylee, what's happening in court? Have those closing arguments started?
Hey, Jasmine. Well, not yet. So the prosecution is supposed to call 3 rebuttal witnesses, and just before the lunch break, just before court just broke for lunch, the second was on the stand. But most of the morning, we've heard from psychiatrist Dr. Avram Mack. He believes that Clancy was severely depressed, but not psychotic when she killed her 3 children, and he believes that she knew right from wrong.
Regarding the events of January 24th, 2023, what ultimately is your opinion to a degree of medical certainty regarding criminal responsibility?
My opinion is that she retained the capacities that were required for having criminal responsibility for these actions.
Now, the jury heard very different testimony when the defense rested their case on Friday. Forensic psychiatrist Dr. Philip Resnick was hired by the defense, and he specializes in filicides, cases where parents kill their children. Resnick says he met with Lindsay Clancy around 4 months after the murders. He testified that Lindsay heard a male voice commanding her to kill her 3 children and herself. Resnick believes she was experiencing postpartum psychosis.
It was almost like she was a puppet and someone else was pulling the strings. Ms. Clancy had the psychotic, distorted belief that her children would be better off in heaven rather than being motherless.
Now this case could soon be in the hands of the jury, and they have to decide what they believe was going through Clancy's mind when she killed her 3 children. If she's convicted of murder, she faces life in prison without parole, but if she's found not guilty by reason of insanity, she'll be committed to a state mental health facility. Jasmine?
Haley, thanks so much for joining us to talk about this. A lot of people talking about this case, as you know, on social media. It has gained nationwide attention. I know that there were some planned rallies for her last week. Are you hearing anything about that this week as we near the end of this trial?
Yeah, so day by day, we're starting to see more and more people show up here outside of the courthouse. So it kind of started late last week. There was a group of women. There were hundreds of women out here at one point, all wearing pink. And they said they weren't rallying, they weren't protesting, but they were standing in solidarity to support Clancy and also raise awareness of women's mental health. Now, today, a lot of them have been in the courtroom, so they haven't been outside of the courthouse too much. But something different that we have seen today is there's kind of a counter group of people who say really the only victims in this case are the children.
Understand, Kaylee. Thanks so much for giving us that update. We'll let you get back to gathering some news out there and check in with you later. Moving forward, guys, our time here on Fox Local is 1:16. We're back with a look at your weather forecast right after this. Welcome back. Let's get into some more headlines this morning dealing with animals here. A dead bat we're speaking of first tested positive for rabies in the Terry Mill Road area. So Georgia is a rabies endemic state and the virus is present all year long. A resident should make sure pets are up to date for preventative vaccination and should eliminate outdoor feeding stations and access to garbage cans. So anyone who has been bitten or scratched by an animal should seek medical care immediately. And residents are also advised to watch pets and contact the DeKalb County Animal Control if unusual behavior occurs in the pets. But there's a look at some bats on your screen there. We know that some dead bats tested positive for rabies in DeKalb County, so just remain vigilant if you're in that area. Also today, DeKalb Public Health received lab confirmation of an additional mosquito carrying the West Nile virus. So something to be on the lookout for in that area. The positive trap was located in East Atlanta and in unincorporated DeKalb area. To date this year, there have been no human cases of the West Nile virus. Infection confirmed in the county, but a total of 8 mosquito surveillance traps have tested positive in various areas in DeKalb County. So be careful if you're heading outdoors in that area. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside and talk about the weather. It's been a nice stretch of days here in the Atlanta area. Pretty warm outside. Well, I guess some people would say hot. Pretty hot outside, but I'm enjoying it.
It's gorgeous outdoors right now, and I think what's lacking in this forecast is significant moisture. I know last week, not only were we trending hot, but we were humid as well, so it just felt unbearable at times. I could take the 90s if they're lower 90s and we're drier. So today,
okay, understand.
Not too bad. You know, definitely a little bit of a change from last week, but we'll see some other changes in our forecast coming up over the next 7 days. Let's get you guys back outside, though, in which no matter where in northern Georgia you're looking, whether it's here in Atlanta, Lake Lanier, you guys are looking at the sunshine. Not a cloud in sight, as temperatures have now returned to the upper 80s this afternoon. We'll take you out to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, in which we do show temperatures of 89 degrees. And it's typical that in previous weeks we'd actually peak above 90 starting at the noontime hour. So here we are moving past 1 o'clock, still hanging out in the upper 80s. So I'll take that, and I'll also take this. Lower dew points. No 70s on the board, just a mix of 50s and 60s. Dalton, the outlier there. We might have to get a check on that reading, but your temperature shows 82 degrees. Blairsville, you're in the upper 70s. Gainesville, 83. Athens, 89. The warmest place to be, that's Eatonton, well towards the south and the east at 91, and of course 89 here inside of the metro. Your hour-by-hour forecast as we persist throughout the evening doesn't show any significant chances for rain. It does show increased cloud coverage overnight, though, and that blanket of clouds will keep temperatures in the 70s overnight. So a mild start to your morning exists tomorrow. As for today, high temperatures are back in the low 90s for the majority of us, and there are a few exceptions here. 85 in Blairsville, coolest place, definitely. Eatonton, you'll likely peak in the mid-90s today with a high of 94 degrees, but throughout the work week later on, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's when your rain chances begin to peak. A 40% coverage of showers and storms on Wednesday. That's going to amplify to a 60% coverage on Thursday and Friday before tapering off heading into the weekend. So we will be drier Saturday and Sunday. But let's talk about Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because we'll see another frontal boundary emerging here across the southeast. What we're dealing with today, basically this stationary boundary on its last legs, going to fade on out before Thursday gets here. And then here comes a cold front Thursday night into Friday that we'll be watching. That'll decrease your temperatures. Of course, the extra clouds and the rain will help keep us in the upper 80s. And then heading into the weekend, we actually see this front begin to fizzle out of the picture. Maybe a small chance for a stray shower Saturday or Sunday. But I do believe the bulk of the rain that we'll see this week is a Thursday and Friday event. So if you plan on visiting East Lake Golf Club for the Tour Championship in Atlanta, Thursday and Friday aren't looking too great. Chances for scattered storms throughout the afternoon, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do have some delays, maybe a cancellation taking place on those 2 days. Saturday and Sunday look amazing, though, so definitely still on the hotter side as we warm back into the low 90s, but outdoors right now, it is sensational. Great. No showers today or tomorrow, but they will be back by the end of your work week forecast, and with cooler temperatures, I'm reminded that we are only 29 days away from the first day of fall. Cooler temperatures will be here Thursday and Friday, though. Still watch out for the chance for rain. Sunglasses needed today and tomorrow. Looks like your umbrellas are what you need before you leave the house Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right, Marquise, thanks so much for joining us to talk about weather. I got it all covered here. Umbrellas in the next couple of days, sunglasses today and tomorrow.
There you go.
Thanks. All right, guys, let's take another live look outside here and talk about the Falcons. So the Falcons are back in Flowery Branch this morning. If you've been following them, I'm a Chiefs fan, so, you know, I'm looking at the Chiefs. But this is the team's first practice after their win over the Colts in their preseason game on Saturday. Their final preseason game is this coming Saturday, and our sports reporter Lexi Bowden joins us live with more. Lexi, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. So how are the Falcons preparing for this final preseason game?
Yeah, well, you guys were just talking about the weather, and it is a hot one out here in Flowery Branch. I'm actually under the shade because I did forget my sunglasses today. But yeah, first day of practice this week, as you just mentioned, had that great win over the Colts on Saturday, which kind of erased the uneasiness after their loss to the Broncos in their first preseason game. But the biggest news coming out of today's practice is that Michael Penix Jr. is cleared for 11 on 11. So if you remember, he was coming back from that 9-month ACL injury back in the 2025 season. So he had been doing 7-on-7 and individual work, but had not been a full participant in practice yet. But he will be today, and head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked about the expectations of his quarterback in today's practice.
I think he's more than eager to get out there and practice, and he's done a great job. And I've mentioned this many times to you guys. I think there's ways to get ready to prepare and improve. You'd love to get every rep as any player at any position. Oftentimes that's just not possible. So there's so many things you can do to prepare yourself, whether it's in a walkthrough or getting a mental rep or what have you. So he's done an outstanding job in that regard.
Yeah, so that is promising. Of course, Michael Penix Jr. was the starter last year, and then Kirk Cousins came in when Penix was injured. But it had really been all the talk about Tua Tagovailoa up until that first performance of his against the Broncos, which wasn't the absolute best. So I would say maybe the quarterback competition does really start today with both quarterbacks being able to take full, complete reps. Head coach Kevin Stefanski also asked who will start against the Dolphins this weekend and would not name a starter yet. He did say that the first string is going to be taking a majority of the reps in that game. He also would not name a starter for week 1 against the Steelers, that game on September 6th. So we're still kind of waiting to hear who's going to be under center here in Flowery Branch.
So Lexi, I know that the Falcons lost their very first preseason game, but they won this past one over the weekend. So what did they do differently in this most recent game?
Yeah, well, it's kind of surprising to talk about because obviously the starters were out in that game against the Broncos and didn't give their best showing. But in their last game against the Colts, they had some of their second-string guys out there. So a lot of people have been talking about Jack Strand, who's the quarterback out of Minnesota Moorhead State College, and he had been undrafted, but he's really been a surprising gem for the Falcons. He was 12 of 17 on passing attempts. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 a rushing touchdown, and led the team with 212 passing yards. So he's been quite a steal for the Falcons. He'll probably end up being, that third-string quarterback. But with the injury history of both Penix and Tua, it's always good to have a guy behind them that can step up and play. You also saw really great play out of the running backs as well. Tyler Goodson, who's a Georgia native, gave a spectacular performance with the house call touchdown as well. So just a lot of energy from these guys, and the defense played really well. The offensive line gave a lot of opportunities for the run game. So the hopes are a lot higher than they were in game 1 against the Broncos.
All right, Lexi, sounds good. Thanks so much for joining us to talk about this. Looking forward to seeing what the Falcons do in the coming days and ahead of that final preseason game. Lexi, thanks. All right, guys, from football to baseball, the Atlanta Braves return to Truist Park this week for an exciting homestand featuring matchups against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Colorado Rockies, and the San Francisco Giants. So today they're hosting a media day to highlight the fan experiences, promotions, and just new offers that you can see this week. Our Eli Jordan joins us live with more, and he has a look at all of the fun. Hey there, Eli.
Hey, good afternoon, Jasmine. Yeah, the Braves, they got a busy last half of August. We got the LA Dodgers coming into town tomorrow night, staying through Thursday night. And then Friday, Colorado Rockies come to town, staying through Sunday night. And then Monday, we got that pickup game, that makeup game with the Giants. And, right now, the Atlanta Braves are first in their division. They're like 76 and 55 right now, doing real good in the NL East Division. And so, they decided, with this like homestand coming up with the LA Dodgers coming in tomorrow. It's a game at 7:15. Gates open at 5:30. They wanted to have a little, some cool prizes and things like that, something special for the players, I mean for the fans, and while the players are playing against this gauntlet of teams coming in for this next 7 days. But I spoke to Jory Palmer, who's with Braves Marketing. Here's what she had to say about this week.
We wanted to make it a really, really fun homestand for our fans. So starting on Thursday, we have our annual Harry Potter ticket package. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, we've got this Draco Baldwin bobblehead, which, you know, is a play off of our Rookie of the Year catcher, Drake Baldwin. So we've got him in his Slytherin garb there. And Harry Potter night's really fun. We've got a lot of activations, things for folks to do. That's this Thursday. And then Friday, we've got another great ticket package and night. It's our annual HBCU night, which we do every year. There's a big party at the Coca-Cola Roxy. There's marching bands performing throughout the Battery. And then this year's item is a snare drum bobblehead. So every year the bobblehead features a different instrument in the band. So you can kind of collect them as the years go. So that's this Friday as well.
And so is this with the Dodgers ticket package?
So the Dodgers are here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if you buy the Draco Baldwin ticket package, yes, you get a game ticket and a guaranteed bobblehead. And then Friday, the HBCU ticket package is when the Rockies come to town. So you'll get a game to the Rockies, or excuse me, a ticket to the Rockies game and the bobblehead.
Awesome. And the ticket package, what does all that include? That includes the bobblehead?
Yes. Yeah. And then all of the activations or any of the parties that are associated, you get access to those.
Awesome. How much is a ticket package? Are we touching on that right now?
So actually we've got, it really just kind of depends on where you want to sit. So we've got different options, whether you want to be down low, you want to be in the outfield, you want to be up high. So whatever your budget, we've got options for you to choose from.
And I guess go to Braves.com/promos.
Braves.com/promos. You'll see every single game we have coming up, any sort of ticket package, giveaway, theme night, promotion, it'll all be right there for you.
And again, the LA Dodgers are coming to town. 3-game series. All games are at 7:15 starting tomorrow night. Gates open at 5:30. And then the Rockies game on Friday is at 7:15. Gates open at 5:30. But then on Saturday, the game is at 4:10 in the afternoon, late afternoon game there. Gates open at 1:30 on Saturday for the Rockies. And then the 1:35 Sunday game with the Rockies, the gates open at 11:30 a.m. So you come on down here. Maybe get your ticket package, get you that bobblehead, the Draco bobblehead on Thursday, and then come back, get you another ticket package, get that HBCU drummer on Friday, and then come back, you know, just take off work, go to baseball games here at Truist Park all week until through next Monday, and you'll be able to see the Braves play the Dodgers, the Colorado Rockies, and then the Giants on Monday to cap it all off, and then you can go back to work, and then, you know, that's Labor Day. I believe. And, no, it's not Labor Day yet. It's the 31st. So, but still, take it all off. Take off the whole, take off the whole week. Watch some baseball. Have a good time. Get yourself some bobbleheads. Try some cool food. They're going to have food specialty for each series. So, you know, like the Rockies, they're going to be serving up elk burgers this week. So that's going to be interesting. So come on down. Gates open at 5:30 tomorrow for a 7:15 game.
All right, Eli, sounds good. I know where I'm going this week. So thanks so much for showing us what's happening out at Truist Park. All right, guys, our time is 1:33. When we return here on Fox Local, we'll take a look at what's trending here on Fox Local and on our website, fox5atlanta.com. Welcome back to our news conversation here on Fox Local. I'm Jasmine Cornell. We have to talk about what's trending, so let's bring in Fox 5's digital content creator, Joyce Lupiani. She's look at some of those stories. Joyce, thanks so much for joining us for this conversation. Let's get into the Hall County Sheriff. I know there's some trouble over there in Hall County, a petition going around that has thousands, tens of thousands of signatures on it.
Yes, it does. So a group of Hall County residents is racing against the clock in an effort to recall Sheriff Gerald Couch following his DUI arrest earlier this year. So the members of Concerned Citizens of Hall County were out gathering signatures on Sunday. They need about 42,000 signatures by September 3rd, and they still need about 40,000 to reach that goal. So Couch was arrested on a DUI charge in February, and Governor Brian Kemp suspended him in March, and then he was reinstated about 3 months later. Couch's attorney says that the sheriff, he respects the group's right to petition, but remains confident that the Hall County voters will judge him on his full record of service and not just what happened, back in February. And meanwhile, he is scheduled to go to trial on September 21st.
Yes, that's right. He is scheduled to go to trial here in less than a month. I know that his attorney provided a statement out to the public as well, but a very interesting story out of Hall County. A lot of residents upset about this, Joyce.
Yes, they are. We've actually been following this for a while. We've done several stories on it. They keep calling us and sending us emails about the situation. They are definitely concerned about it. So we're going to keep following it. If it goes to trial in September, we will try to be there, but we'll keep on providing information about what's happening.
And Joyce, this next story here, this burglar reportedly went to the wrong house because he got caught on camera. So let's get into this and why it's trending.
Right. So like you said, this guy, he went to a house and apparently he crawled up underneath it and he was stealing a lot of the copper wire. So this happened back on August 15th, and you can see the video here. It's a great video. It's like crystal clear. So August 15th, about 7:40 in the morning, Atlanta police officers went out to Beecher Street because the homeowner called them up and told them what was happening. And the thief was actually still inside the crawl space when the police officers arrived. Now, he did take off running. And you can see the body cam here. They are chasing him down the street, across some other yards. They did eventually catch up with him. They identified him as 44-year-old Travis Taylor, and he's been charged with first-degree burglary, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, and obstruction because he took off running. The only thing we don't really know is about what he was planning on doing with the stolen copper wire. But from my understanding, I've seen a lot of stories about this over the years. Copper wire is actually pretty valuable. And so that's probably planning on selling it. And we'll try to actually follow up on this case too and see what happens when he goes to court.
People do some interesting things. And so just him crawling into that space, I'm claustrophobic. Who wants to go underneath the home like that?
I know, right? And there's probably lots of bugs and stuff underneath there. This is Atlanta. So, yeah, I would not do it. But, I've heard them climbing on roofs. And like I said, the copper wire is apparently worth quite a bit of money. And it's a pretty big problem. So I'm sure he just, he was hoping to make some money off of it.
Hoping to make some money and get away, but that clearly did not happen. All right, Joyce, let's talk about this fun story here with this quartet kind of poking fun at Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, for good reason. So the Gregory brothers are known for turning news and everyday things into viral songs. And their latest target is Atlanta's confusing collection of Peachtree roads. So apparently the brothers made a song about the traffic in New York City first. And they got like so many comments about, hey, you guys need to check out the whole Peachtree situation in Atlanta. So they started doing some research and they found out there are at least 71 streets with some version of Peachtree in the name. So they wrote a song. Yeah. And Jasmine, I think you have a little snippet of it, if we can hear it.
I'm on Peachtree Road, I'm on Peachtree Way, I'm on Peachtree Court, I'm on Peachtree Place, driving through Peachtree Park on Peachtree Drive. That's why I'll be lost in Atlanta till I die.
Yep, I totally love that. I know when I moved here, when I moved here like 3-4 years ago, it was definitely like really confusing with all these peach trees. Yeah, right. And I mean, we're definitely kind of famous for having all these streets and roads named Peachtree throughout the state. So, you know, this has gone viral, of course. And if you are looking for it, it is called 71 Peach Trees Lost in Atlanta.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, they were great for creating this, poking fun here in Atlanta, because it is pretty confusing, especially if you're new to the area. Well, Joyce, thanks so much for joining us to talk about what's trending on Fox Local and fox5atlanta.com. We'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, Jasmine.
Okay, let's get into some more headlines here. So let's take a look at this video here out of New York. So remember this unbelievable video, a pair of climbers scaling the antenna of one of New York City's most recognizable landmarks, the Empire State Building. You see that there on your screen? Well, that couple appeared in court today. The two arrived at court in New York City this morning, and the couple climbed onto the broadcast transmitter on top of the Empire State Building on July 1st and unfurled a banner before the guy here appeared to propose to the woman. So the couple they're both charged with multiple crimes, including burglary, reckless endangerment, and criminal mischief. The next hearing in this case is scheduled for September 29th, but this is a story that many people took it upon themselves to recreate in some way. It became a meme, so it was a top story here. But again, that couple did appear in court this morning and expected to be back in court for a hearing on September 29th. Well, this has a lot of people excited here. Walmart expecting to add Apple Pay, tap to pay to their checkouts. Walmart and Sam's Club both are adding this new pay for them to get through checkout. And we now know when the launch will happen here in Georgia. So they're adding tap to pay to some select Walmart and Sam's Club stores starting today, expected in Georgia starting October 1st. I know many people complain about this in Walmart, and you know, it does help to have the tap to pay instead of using Walmart Pay. The company also says the option will come to all of its stores by the end of the year and to its fuel stations by mid-2027. So the checkout will now allow for use of Apple Pay, Google Pay, and other digital payment technologies. Walmart previously has been holding back on the tap-to-pay options in order to encourage customers to use its own Walmart system, which required using that QR code. You know, you have to download the Walmart app, scan the QR code, and then you can pay through that app. But that was met with complaints from some shoppers, of course, and Apple Pay is used with 85% of U.S. retailers. So this will help a lot of people out. Well, proposed a class action suit accuses Aura Ring of misleading customers about the device's ability to measure sleep quality and identify different stages of sleep. The lawsuit says Aura relies on signals like heart rate, body temperature, and movement to estimate sleep, while clinical sleep studies use sensors that measure brain activity and eye movement. Now, Aura denies the allegations here, saying its sleep staging technology is supported by independent research. So a lawsuit against Aura Ring, that is. We'll see what comes out of this. Our time is 1:45 this afternoon. We're back and we're going to check in with our Chris Rosenthal, who's going to take us out to Cumberland, where a local artist is changing up an overpass. So we'll take a look at that. Welcome back to our news conversation here on Fox Local. Thanks so much for joining the streaming show. Let's get out to our Chris Rosenthal. We know a local artist is coloring Cumberland, so residents there may notice something new and different starting this month. Artist Cole Thale has been tapped to revamp the Mount Wilkinson Bridge overpass on I-285. And Chris, you've been able to talk to him, so I'm curious to know what has inspired him to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is a project that actually started about a year ago. The Cumberland CID and with their nonprofit One Cumberland had this idea to paint this bridge out here, the Mount Wilkinson Bridge, and eventually going to be painting both sides of this bridge here with the help of some grants from the Home Depot Foundation. Some of their Team Depot volunteers and Pittsburgh Paint Group are going to help out too. So they're also going to get the community involved with volunteers coming out here and helping, and even the public can come help. And you can see Cole's got these funny goggles on, and not normally what you think of for a painter and for an artist, but I got to try these out here earlier. I mean, tell me, how does this work? This technology here?
So we basically made a design on the computer. I loaded into the Oculus here, and then I can project it on the wall. Used to have to wait until nighttime to be able to project, but with this technology, I'm able to do it in the daytime because it's using cameras to allow me to see through, and it's allowing my sketch to lock on the wall and be adjusted. And then I sketch it out, and then take the goggles off and paint it in like normal.
What do you see when you see through there?
Well, it's showing the wall with the video, and then it's also showing the graphic that I created on the computer on the wall, and then I can place that graphic anywhere I want and move it around. And so I'm seeing the graphic and the wall at the same time, and then I make my graphic opaque enough so it's semi-transparent, so you can see my hand to where it's touching the wall, So I wish I could show you how it looks on the inside, but yeah, it's pretty neat how it allows me to see my image on the wall without having it projected from an external source. It's right on my head,
Yeah, these are just some of the tracings he's done today here so far. Eventually, you'll be doing this whole entire section here. I mean, how is this going to look when it's all said and done?
Well, my part is to sketch it out. I had to design the mural with the brand pattern that they had. And then ultimately, I'm sketching it on the wall, and then the community will come in and they'll paint by numbers, basically. It'll be certain colors in each section that the community is going to paint in. So it's a volunteer army that's going to help me out. I'm just responsible for sketching it on the wall. But I'm thrilled that we get to work with so many people from the community, with One Cumberland, and everyone that we're working with. Yeah.
How unique is this that you get the help from the community here?
Oh, it's amazing. It's hard to organize. I know from experience how difficult it is to wrangle 3 or 4 people to volunteer to help, and they have so many volunteers. It's insane. So I'm excited to be working with that many people that are going to come in and knock this thing out. So.
Gotcha. This is day one for you, and how long will this take, you think?
The sketch process should take about a week total, basically. So a couple days per side.
Gotcha. And then when it's done, fully done, what do you
when it's fully done, we got to wait till September for the volunteers to come out, and then we'll start trying to teach them, how to paint it in. So it's going to be a little lag between the time I sketch it on the wall and the volunteers getting here to paint it in.
Well, I'll let you get back to work here. So appreciate it, Cole. We'll hang out here with Cole a little bit during the day and watch him bring this to life, sketch it out. September 19th, actually, you can mark your calendars. That is when the public is welcome to come out and volunteer. You can reach out to the Cobb CID, and they can help get you on the list for that.
And, Chris, this is pretty cool here, and especially the use of the virtual reality goggles. I don't know, I can't remember if he mentioned this, but why did he choose this bridge overpass?
Well, he was hired by brought in by the Cumberland CID. So this is something that they wanted to do. They wanted to freshen up this bridge, freshen up this area, and really, really send a message to the community here and have something nice out here for them. So.
All right, sounds good, Chris. Looking forward to seeing that finished product there. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Let's move forward and talk about this story here. The latest offering at Metro Atlanta's Speakeasy Roaring Social. It's called the Roaring Jewel Martini, and it takes the idea of top shelf to glittering new heights. Sounds like something I will get my hands on. Our Paul Milliken has a peek.
We've got fire and ice going on right now at Roaring Social Decatur. Check it out, everybody. You've never seen a martini like this before. The Roaring Jewel Martini, which is available now for the cool price of $10,000. But it's more than just a drink. Trust me, this is a date night you will never forget. Hanging out with Brian Harper, our great friend here from Roaring Social, who is filming. No, you keep filming. It is so cool looking, man. Where did this idea come from?
We had teased the idea for about a year when we opened here, trying to kind of make a splash. And we tossed it around. We finally were able to come up with a cocktail that we thought we really would, enjoy. And then we started piecing it all together to kind of come up with the product that you see here, to where not only does the drink have quality, but the whole show that you get matches the experience.
It is fully a show. Yeah. So what do you get when you order this experience?
Sure. So you're going to get the martini itself, which is a a Beluga vodka, which is from the Caspian Sea. Then you're going to get a dry vermouth rinse. Then you will get a topper with a reserve champagne, a Balcart champagne. And then it has the floater with the topper of the caviar. And then you get to take home that beautiful piece of jewelry that sits atop it.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about that piece of jewelry. That's where Nick comes in from Solomon Brothers Jewelers. So tell me about this piece of jewelry in the drink here.
Yeah, you know, we're in a 1920s theme, so we wanted to go with something that was classic diamond essentials, your classic tennis necklace, natural diamonds. You could wear it out at a fine event. You could wear it to play tennis, which is where it's got its name. So it kind of represents the Solomon Brothers ethos, something that you can wear all the time, but you're looking your absolute best for the best value.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, tell me about Solomon Brothers. You guys have been around for a while here in Atlanta now.
That we have. We've been on the 17th floor in Tower Place in Buckhead since 1982. We have a second location up in Alpharetta near Avalon, and then down in Sharpsburg serving the south side as well.
Yeah. What do you think makes what you do special? What is the Solomon Brothers experience?
Yeah, so one, it's unpretentious. Come in, relax. There's bars in every store. Have some champagne. Shop the right way. Take your time. You're making a commitment most of the times for the rest of your life and something that will last the rest of your life. So put the time in. Be comfortable. No high pressure sales. We really want to help people out, and we've been doing it for a very long time.
Well, yeah, jewelry shopping, especially when it involves weddings, is stressful. That's where the bar comes in, right?
Yeah. You know what? The bar is there for what everyone needs it to be. Sometimes it's just a soda. Sometimes it's a guy who's absolutely shaking. It's like, you know what? I think I might go something stronger with you specifically.
I love that you guys do that. How excited are you to be part of this like crazy over-the-top experience at Roaring Social?
Yeah, it's over the top, but honestly, it's the same thing. Classic. You don't get much more classic than a martini. You don't get more classic than a tennis necklace. So honestly, it was a no-brainer for us. It celebrates what we love, which is, you know, it's fashion, it's fun, and that's what we stand for at Solomon Brothers.
Yeah, it is very cool. So again, there it is, everybody, the Roaring Jewel Martini, topped with ice, and not the kind of ice you're used to in a martini. It is gorgeous. And how does it taste? Let's find out. Let me give it a little taste right now, just a little. It's even better with diamonds.
All right, Paul, thanks for showing us that. Pretty cool there and pricey. And thank you all for joining us here for the 1 o'clock streaming hour. Thanks for joining this news conversation. Our news continues right at 2.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being with us here at 2 o'clock on your Monday afternoon. It's a busy day of news, and we've got a lot to get to, as we always do. So let's start off in Avondale Estates. We're learning more about a reported shooting outside of a collision shop. Let's get you to some video of Skyfox 5 was able to capture here from the area. And I want to talk you through what we know so far, because ultimately police are searching for a shooter involved in this. They believe that this happened outside of the Harley Collision Centers on Maple Street in Avondale Estates, and they say this happened outside of that auto repair shop just this afternoon. Skyfox 5 flew over the scene, and you can see a little bit of that person walking, and investigators, it looks like there was a police car I saw just a little bit ago as they're trying to figure out what happened. Ultimately, police were able to speak with an employee who says they were outside of the shop when someone shot them. Authorities have not released any information about this person's condition, but as we get any new information, we will let you know. Police are continuing to search for that shooter this afternoon. Now let's talk about a developing story we've been following here in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom, digging in and trying to get new details. The suspect in yesterday's deadly knife attack on the BeltLine has waived his first court appearance. We understand 54-year-old Jonathan Hamby has been charged with murder and aggravated assault after police say he stabbed a 29-year-old man in the neck. Hamby has been arrested 30 times, we understand, and has previously pled guilty to aggravated assault with a knife. Fox 5's Rob DeRienzo joins us live outside of the jail with more information. Rob, it's great to see you. What are you learning this afternoon?
Hey there, Ariel. Well, throughout the day, I've been digging into Jonathan Hamby's past, and as you mentioned, it seems like he has quite an extensive one, a pretty familiar face inside the walls here at the Fulton County Jail here on Rice Street. I want to show you his mugshot that we got a little while ago. Earlier today, he waived his right to his first appearance, which means he's going to remain in bars at least until his next hearing next month. Now, Atlanta police say yesterday afternoon, Hamby stabbed a man to death on the BeltLine in front of the Kroger on Ponce. According to the arrest warrant, he was arguing with two men and said, "Back the F up before I stab you." That's when he lunged at one of those men and stabbed him in the neck, according to the warrant. That warrant identifies the victim as 29-year-old Ramon Harris. Harris died at the scene, and officers responded and quickly cuffed Hamby and then recovered what they believe to be the murder weapon in this case. And as you mentioned, Ariel, records showed that this guy's been arrested at least 30 times. Take a listen to what Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum had to say about all this during yesterday's news conference.
Not a journalist, you are. I think the question should be asked, should this individual have been out of jail? Okay. I think as journalists, we should look into 3 prior arrests. As journalists, we should look into a convicted felon who was on probation. Was he an individual that should be in this space, armed with a weapon, and that carried it out? And that is a conversation we have to have as a society to making sure the courts are properly equipped to address mental health and individuals that have long-term issues that need to be addressed, as well as being able to provide for the safety of the community when sentencing calls for a person to be incarcerated.
And Ariel, this morning, Mayor Andre Dickens put out a statement pretty similar in that regard, saying that this raises serious questions about why he was out on the streets. It reads, quote, "Those facts demand we examine the system surrounding behavioral health, repeat offenders, and public safety, and address any failures plainly with the partners responsible for those systems." And as I mentioned throughout the day, Ariel, I've been digging in to the previous arrests, which include an aggravated assault arrest and guilty plea from back in 2020. We're hearing that he was sentenced to 17 years of probation and got 3 years of credit for time served. So he was essentially able to just go back on the streets, and according to these arrest records and these accusations from investigators, allegedly did it again. Ariel?
Interesting situation, Rob. You know, I think we've covered a lot of stories similar to this where we see someone who has been accused of a crime, perhaps pled guilty, and then we see that this situation unfolds again where it's a similar nature to the crime they originally committed in that first place. I thought it was interesting in your conversation with Chief Shearbaum, or at least when he was speaking with reporters, how he was trying to point journalists and where he felt they needed to go next.
Yeah, and that's been a point of contention, and you could hear the frustration in Chief Schierbaum's voice yesterday. He says that they deal with these repeat offenders a lot, especially those who are experiencing homelessness, especially those who are dealing with mental health issues. Now, he says those two aspects of this crime, what happened yesterday on the BeltLine, are still under investigation, but I can tell you on that plea document that he signed back in 2021 after that first aggravated assault, it mentioned that he was taking mental health medication. So, of course, that's going to be part of the conversation. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of frustration and a lot of questions about why this guy was able to essentially do the same thing twice, and yesterday's consequences apparently were deadly.
Rob, thank you as always for joining us live with the latest information. We'll let you get back to gathering new details, and we will see you again later this evening. Rob DeRienzo reporting live for us outside of the Fulton County Jail. Thank you so much. Guys, another big part of the conversation Sunday, of course, was this viral video we saw showing those deadly moments of this stabbing, the two individuals interacting with each other, and what ultimately led up to the tragedy we now know is that deadly stabbing. Our Annie Mapp has been speaking with a woman who witnessed this incident and was able to capture that video and joins us live. Annie, what is she sharing with you this afternoon?
Hi, Ariel. Good afternoon. That witness is still trying to process exactly what she saw. I mean, this happened Sunday afternoon at a time when the BeltLine was just packed with people who were here exercising or either visiting the nearby businesses. She said she was approaching the Kroger here on Ponce de Leon Avenue when she heard a loud commotion. She said she heard arguing and then looked over towards where you see those scooters in that bike rack, and she saw the suspect, that 54-year-old Jonathan Hamby, arguing with a man that was pictured in video that she took that's now went viral. They were in an argument. That witness says the suspect allegedly believed that the other man was trying to rob him, and they were going in a back and forth. And at one point, the man who was there with his friend that was engaging in the argument tried to step in to prevent them from getting into this altercation. And that is when the suspect allegedly stabbed that victim. Take a listen at what she said.
Seeing that is like getting me very emotional because it's like somebody just died in front of us. And then it's like emotional to know that everybody was just going about their day like it was just regular.
Yeah, and very heartbreaking, a situation that left a lot of people here on the BeltLine with their jaws dropped. I mean, we have an individual who just walked up to us right here, and he says he too had to witness that tragedy. Sir, tell us exactly what you saw yesterday.
When I was coming up here, I was getting some exercise, and I saw the white gentleman draped in an American flag and brandishing a knife with blood on it. And I saw the gentleman who had his throat slashed, and I said, call the cops, and someone called the cops, and he was bleeding out profusely. I've never seen anything so horrible. And there was an ambassador, BeltLine ambassador there, and I asked him what had happened, and he said that the white gentleman had stolen something from the black brothers, and they were trying to get it back. And the white gentleman was screaming out, I don't, you're not going to rob me, you're not going to rob me. But he obviously was the one who had robbed the two brothers. They should have just let him have it. But
how scary was it for you to see something like this here on the BeltLine at a time where there were so many people?
Yeah, I had to take today off. Totally shook. I've never seen anybody die before. It was horrible.
Terrible. Hopefully, I know it's a terrible scene that you saw, so we're hoping and praying that you can recover from that. So Ariel, you heard it there, another witness who unfortunately had to see that scene with their own eyes. We have several videos that we got from that Jessica read, that witness that she posted online that have now went viral, and we will share more of those on our shows later this evening. Ariel.
Annie, I just have no words for this violence and the idea that, like both of the people you just spoke to said, this desensitization of this is a horrible thing to see, and it happened Sunday. So many people out and about in front of people's eyes, and the idea that this gentleman just that you spoke to said he needed to take off work today, try to protect his mental health because of what he experienced. It looks like Annie actually might be frozen right now, but I will let her get back to gathering information. You got to hear from a woman that Annie was able to speak to who captured that video you've no doubt seen on social media by now, showing the suspect and the victim in this situation. We were also able to see a gentleman that she was able to speak with who was on the BeltLine, and she just told him about how, or just asked him about his experience, and he was describing how he had never seen anyone die before, and that changed on Sunday. Horrible moments. We will let Annie continue to gather information, and she will join us again later this evening. But like Annie said, hoping these people who had to experience this and the family members, victims, or the victims' family members, are able to process this tragedy. So we'll keep you updated right here on Fox Local. In the meantime, I do want to continue on and talk about some news we're following here in the newsroom today. Let's talk about a woman who is now missing after she moved to Georgia. The woman you see on your screen, we understand, moved to Georgia for romance. She's actually from Florida. Her name is Catrice Simmons. She's 59 years old, and she moved here from Pensacola, Florida specifically. She moved here to live with a man that she met online, and her family is desperately looking for her. They need answers. They say that her online relationship became serious, so she loaded up a U-Haul with her belongings, and the last time her children, her close family, or friends heard from her was May 19th. Okay, that's over 2 months ago, when her daughter noted that Simmons sounded like she was in distress. Loved ones believe Simmons was living in an apartment in the 300 block of Lanier Street Northwest before she vanished, and they claim the man she moved to Georgia to be with knew about her whereabouts, or they say they asked the man she moved to Georgia to be with if he knew about her whereabouts. Okay, so they asked this guy, hey, do you know where Catrice is? And according to the family, this man said he didn't know where she is. When calls are made to her phone, it goes straight to voicemail, and she had a black Chevy Equinox that's missing its back door window, according to her family. Police, family members have not shared any latest details as to where she could be because they're currently looking for her. Take a listen to what some of her family members had to share with our reporters.
We will reach out to one of her daughters. She's going to always keep in touch with one of them, or my brother, or her son. And none of them have, I mean, that's the alarming part.
By December, they stated, she stated to family that she was going to get, she was engaged to him, soon to be married. By April, she moved here. By May, she went missing.
All we want to know is where she is. Where is her car? Where is her phone? Where is she?
Where are her belongings? I believe there might be a possibility that my auntie is dead.
We've gone to the shelters. We've gone to the morgues. My son has done everything. Typed her name in to search, and there is no Catrice.
So all the family is asking for, you heard it in their voices, they want closure. They want to know where she is. They want to understand if she's okay, and if not, where is she? A big question I have is, what's the name of this man that she moved to Georgia to be with? I don't have that information as of right now. It sounds like that's something that police will be looking into. If we get any new details, if this person becomes a person of interest or a suspect in the case, we will let you know right here on Fox Local. But in the meantime, anyone who has any information about Catrice Simmons' whereabouts or her vehicle, that black Chevy Equinox, is asked to contact the Atlanta Police Department immediately. Let's talk about an Atlanta homeowner who witnessed a burglary at their own home on camera. This is really interesting because imagine you are able to have video of something like this, and this is your home. This person was reportedly trying to steal copper wiring. Atlanta police arrested Travis Taylor after he allegedly stole copper wire from a crawl space next to this home in southwest Atlanta. This happened back on August 15th, and officers responded to this burglary in progress just before 8 o'clock. This is the 1600 block of Beecher Street Northwest, and the victim told 911 operators they were watching a man break into their crawl space on a live security feed to steal copper wire. So because of the homeowner's quick thinking, officers were able to quickly get to the scene, and as you can see from this body cam footage, they were able to capture Travis Taylor, told him to get down on the ground, and they caught him in the act. He ran from police at first, but they were able to take him into custody. He's facing multiple felony charges this afternoon, including first-degree burglary, possession of tools for the commission of a crime, and obstruction. Police have not released whether or not any other items were taken, but you can see from the Atlanta police identifiers, Mr. Travis Taylor was arrested. So we will keep you updated as this continues to move forward. But in the meantime, over in East Point, I want to let you know that an officer is now facing a retrial for sexual assault charges. Let's talk about why. We know that Richard Gooding was indicted on 17 counts back in 2018, including child molestation, aggravated sexual battery, violation of oath, and sexual assault by a law enforcement officer. He's accused of sexually abusing women and children while on duty. And this is set to go back to trial Monday, 4 years after a jury acquitted him of 7 charges but failed to reach a verdict on 10 others. So he is being retried on 10 charges after his first trial ended with that partial mistrial. A jury acquitted him, like I mentioned, on those 17 charges, but ultimately could not come to an agreement, which is why we are back in this position. The remaining charges that he's to be tried on include aggravated sexual battery, which could carry a life sentence if he is convicted. Prosecutors had announced that they plan to retry him on the unresolved charges. We will keep you updated as this continues to move forward. In the meantime, let's maybe you've already seen this video on social media. Let's talk about the bigger context here, because we understand that Democratic gubernatorial candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms confronted Republican gubernatorial candidate Rick Jackson. Take a look at this encounter.
All right, sure. I'm fair game. Please stay away from my family.
I hear you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so as you can hear from this exchange, Keisha Lance Bottoms asks Rick Jackson to stay away from her family. She says, I'm fair game, but stay away from my family when it comes to the campaigns, the ads, the things that we've been seeing here on TV. Bottoms was referring to a Jackson campaign ad criticizing her over taxpayer money that was used to purchase a plane ticket for her husband to attend the Super Bowl while she served as Atlanta's mayor. She reimbursed the city less than 2 weeks later and said that the purchase had been a mistake, but this encounter comes as both parties are really stepping up their campaigning efforts ahead of Georgia's midterm elections. Jackson had talked about the incident more at a campaign stop over the weekend. He continued to point out that Bottoms had used taxpayer money while she was mayor for inappropriate expenses. So we'll continue to keep you updated as this continues to move forward, but you did hear Rick Jackson acknowledge her request. Now, whether or not this changes anything moving forward remains to be seen. We'll keep you updated, but that did happen during that campaign stop as these two parties crossed paths in Atlanta last week. But speaking of the election, let's talk about some new rules you could face for mail-in voting, because the U.S. Postal Service is moving forward on new mail-in voting rules. An unpublished version of the rule was put into the Federal Registry last Friday. It indicates the agency is going to move forward with President Trump's executive order. Now, that would require USPS to decide who can receive mail-in ballots. A federal judge recently expanded an earlier injunction against the order, and that had blocked USPS from implementing the new rule for this year's midterm elections. But despite the ruling, the agency's move Friday means it's going to be available to be officially published this upcoming Wednesday. So as we get those new details, we will let you know how this may affect mail-in voting coming up. Taking a look at our timing here, you guys, I want to get a check of our weather forecast with meteorologist Marquise Mita. I also want to check in with Fox 5 Sports' Lexi Bowden, who is at Falcons training camp. We got some exciting news regarding quarterbacks and their injuries last week, and I want to check in with her about how this is going to affect Michael Penix Jr., what to look forward to with our Falcons straight ahead. Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being live with us. As always, I appreciate all of you guys chiming in, YouTube, TikTok, being a part of the conversation. And someone here is actually pointing out some social media reports regarding that missing woman, Catrice Simmons from Florida, saying that she has been found and that your friend is her cousin. We are aware of some of these reports online about her whereabouts. We're waiting for confirmation from Atlanta police to officially report that she may have been found. That has not been confirmed by investigators. As soon as we get any new information regarding that, we will let you know immediately. Understanding there's a lot of concern about her well-being and where she might be, so hoping for good news in this situation, and we'll let you know as soon as we get an update from Atlanta police. Let's shift our focus to the Atlanta Falcons and get out live to Fox 5 Sports' Lexi Bowden, who joins us live from Falcons training camp. Lexi, a lot of big stories with the Falcons, and I understand our quarterback situation may be changing with Michael Penix Jr. now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's great to be back out here at Falcons training camp. Of course, their second preseason game this past weekend against the Colts, and it was a complete 180 from their first preseason game, which was a devastating loss to the Broncos, where the starters honestly did not look that great. Tua played in that game, and of course, it's been the talk of the quarterback competition between him and Michael Penix Jr. Penix continuing to recover from that ACL that he tore 9 months ago. But the big news out of this weekend, and we'll see it at practice here in just about 10 minutes, is that Penix is officially cleared for 11-on-11 work. So he's a full participant now today. Practice is at 2:35, so I'll have some video later of him today. But that's a really, really big development for the Falcons. And head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked about it earlier this morning, about how the recovery is going so far and his excitement for Michael.
I think he's more than eager to get out there and practice, and he's done a great job. And I've mentioned this many times to you guys. I think there's ways to get ready to prepare and improve. You'd love to get every rep as any player at any position. Oftentimes that's just not possible. So there's so many things you can do to prepare yourself, whether it's in a walkthrough or getting a mental rep or what have you. So he's done an outstanding job in that regard.
Yeah, some promising words there from head coach Kevin Stefanski. Tua and Penix have been splitting a lot of the work so far with the first string players here at Falcons training camp, but Penix had not been doing 11 on 11s, and Tua, as well as backup quarterbacks Jack Strand and Cooper Rush, have been doing that work as well. But Stefanski would not make an official decision on who would be starting against the Dolphins in their final preseason game on Friday. And he also did not say who would be starting in the season opener against the Steelers, so we'll have to wait and see for that. But a lot of exciting developments here in Flowery Branch.
Lexi, oh my goodness. You know, I know he's not sane, and it's literally the question every fan wants to know, because we've just had such an ongoing saga with our quarterbacks and these injuries, and none of us want to see this be the storyline for the upcoming season.
Yeah, it's like we are all, all of us media are in the room asking Stefanski the same question a million different ways, trying to see if he would budge. But we'll find out in due time. So we'll see who is the starter on Friday. I do expect, hopefully, Penix gets in the game, as he is doing 11 on 11s this week. But I assume they're going to take it day by day. That's what Stefanski kind of alluded to. He'll see how today's practice goes, and then throughout this week, kind of ramping him up and getting him back into that full workout. So it's exciting, though. And of course, Jack Strand was the talk of the town after his performance against the Colts on Saturday. 212 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, one of them a rushing touchdown. So the undrafted quarterback who's trying to make a case for himself to be the backup quarterback, doing a really great job. So good vibes here in Flowery Branch.
Love it. Lexi, thanks so much for joining us live with the update. We will stay tuned to you for the latest information there from Flowery Branch. In the meantime, Lexi, I'll let you get back to gathering some information and watching our Falcons play and practice. I'm going to bring you back out here, you guys, to the desk. We're going to take a live look outside at Midtown, downtown, while we bring in Marquise Mita, because we are going to talk about your weather forecast. And Marquise, I have to say, these cooler temperatures this morning, the pale blue skies, it's teasing fall for me. I can't help it. I know we're far away, but it's giving a vibe.
So we call that like fool's fall, right?
Yes, we do.
That taste of drier air, the temperatures start to come down, you relax a little bit, and then boom, right before you know, we're back in the mid and the upper 90s, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully we can stretch out these cooler conditions for as long as we can, at least to start off the work week. Low 90s today. Gonna get you guys outside right now, in which no matter where you look, there's blue skies stretching from I-75 to I-85 here across northern Georgia. That's courtesy of a system of high pressure really dominating our forecast, keeping us nice and dry. Notice that your relative humidity, that only sits at 38%, and it took a while, but eventually temperatures did make it into the low 90s today at the start of the 2 o'clock hour. Could see another extra degree or two before today is said and done, but I think the big story for today, or at least one of the big stories, has been how dry we are. Notice that your dew points are back in the 50s and the 60s. Dalton, we still got to check on you guys' weather center, as your dew point's trending a little bit warm, but temperature is not so much. Mid 80s for Dalton, 85 degrees out that direction. 90 in Atlanta, Covington 91. Eatonton, no doubt about it, you guys are the warmest place to be right now, 95 degrees for Eatonton in northern Georgia. Your hour-by-hour forecast is not going to show any clouds here across northern Georgia for tonight, but it will show increased cloud coverage. That blanket of clouds will keep temperatures in the 70s overnight, so another mild start to your Tuesday morning lies in front of you. As for the rest of the afternoon, we'll see these numbers continue to rise temperature-wise, in which we'll peak around 93 in Covington, Athens 93. Eatonton looks like 94, 95 is where you'll likely peak before your Monday comes to its end. But peaking late in the work week aren't your temperatures, but rather your chance for showers. A 60% coverage is coming your way on Thursday and Friday as a new frontal boundary emerges from the north and the west. That'll actually cool you down, but it certainly will keep your rain chances quite high to wrap up the work week. Could see a stray shower Thursday Thursday morning. Better chance comes your way in the afternoon. Showers become much more widespread, in which we're dealing with the frontal boundary, right? Once it crosses over and pulls towards the south, it'll weaken a little bit this weekend, allowing for drier weather on Saturday and Sunday. Still can't rule out a stray shower there. But I think that this Gulf forecast might have some cancellations or delays with scattered showers and storms. It's the Tour Championship taking place at the East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta. Temperatures are back in the upper 80s Thursday and Friday, low 90s Saturday and Sunday, but we're trending a lot drier and maybe a touch warmer as the weekend does move in. Ultimately, though, I know you mentioned that we are having a taste of fall this morning. No showers or storms today or tomorrow, but we're still about 29 days away from the start of the fall season, so a little bit less than a month. 68 days away from Halloween if you're counting. So fall may feel like it's right around the corner, but we still have just a hair under a month left to go, in which it'll give us some more time for the temperatures to cool. 91 for your high today, 92 on Tuesday. Cooler Thursday and Friday as the chance for rain moves back into the picture, but once we dry out, expect to return to the 90s next weekend.
Oh, I have to say, Marquise, just looking at this forecast, feeling a little bit of that drier air. I feel like it's been quite some time since we've had highs in the 80s.
It's been since the beginning of the month, actually. So August, we've been just trending well above our seasonal average.
Yeah.
We hit 97 last week, 98 last Monday. So 91 feels pretty comfortable.
And earlier today, I have to let you know, and maybe you guys can relate to this, I saw a woman walking this morning in a brown corduroy jacket and jeans. Like, she was definitely going for the fall vibes. And while I am definitely enjoying the cooler temps or just the drier air, it's a bridge too far for me, I will say.
I think that's one of those wardrobe selections you make in the morning. You're like, oh, this looks nice. And then you step out in the afternoon, you're like, what was I thinking?
What was I thinking? I know you know. Well, Marquise, thank you so much as always for keeping us informed. I appreciate you. Sure. Guys, we're going to get a check of some international news. Let's get out to the latest with the situation in Iran, because at this point we understand that a cyber attack has targeted a power plant here in the United States. Last month as well, Iran reportedly hacked into a power plant in Britain and forced it to close for almost a week. As the U.S. tightens its blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, Iranians could be turning towards the digital battlefield. Hackers linked to Iran are being blamed for this attack that forced a British power plant to shut down for 4 days. This happened last month, and a possible retaliation after the United Kingdom allowed the U.S. to use British bases during the war for what it calls defensive purposes. Now, the British Department for Energy Security is now warning other power companies about the elevated risk for these cyber attacks. The U.S. says Iran's pivot towards what they're calling asymmetric warfare could mean it's running out of options. But this isn't the first time that Iran has been accused of cyber attacks. It has a long history of waging cyber warfare. Earlier this year, Iran was accused of targeting multiple critical water systems in multiple states. The U.S. is now developing a new technology, get this, it's a mouthful, post-quantum cryptography, okay? And it's leveraging artificial intelligence and quantum computing to make sure America's water, power, and government systems are secure. The British government says there was no risk to any broader systems during the breach, but if there were, not sure if they would share that with us. In the meantime, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is announcing new economic sanctions on Iran, announced just today. The Operation Economic Outcast is targeting 5 areas critical to Iran's economy. The plan the Trump administration is calling Economic D-Day will go after countries that are offering economic support to Tehran. Ultimately, this was something the president cheesed last week, saying that the Treasury Secretary would be announcing this big plan to put economic pressure on Iran to get them to the negotiating table. Bessent now says that Iran faces a clear choice of global isolation or potentially a return to normalcy and a chance to return to the global economy. He announced the Treasury Department basically is going to sanction more than 60 entities, including vessels and individuals that have enabled the Iranian regime. In the meantime, the trade war between the United States and Canada is heating up. We are seeing a war of words being exchanged with both sides digging in. And this comes after a nearly done deal collapsed over the weekend. Let's talk about where we stand, because now both countries are at a standoff after trade talks late last Friday. Canada accuses Washington of making some last-minute demands. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney specifically claims the U.S. wanted to restrict Canada's ability to negotiate trade agreements with other countries. That's one reason that a deal was not reached by President Trump's deadline. So his 50% tariffs on roughly $20 billion worth of imports are now in effect as of Saturday. Canada has vowed to retaliate dollar for dollar, and it's expected that consumers are going to pay a lot of the brunt of this. President Trump says that Canada wants the benefits of being a state without actually being one, and announced Monday that U.S. tariffs on all Canadian cars and trucks will increase 50% January 1st. So that's another element of this, downstream effect where other tariffs are going to be going into effect even months from now. Democrats on the other side are warning that losing friends like Canada could be worse. The U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer now says no new talks are being planned by the Canadians or with the Canadians, but insists that the U.S., it was not the United States that made last-minute demands. I'd like to let you listen to part of what Jamieson Greer had to share.
Preparing options for the president. Again, I think this is a little bit of a tempest in a teapot. The tariffs went into place over the weekend, which we warned about for a long time. They only cover about 5% of Canadian trade and only 0.06% of U.S. overall consumption. So we'll see. I mean, we're just moving forward with our trade policy as intended. The Canadians came to us about 30 days ago, said they want to negotiate. We said okay. Negotiations ended up not working out, so we're just continuing with our trade policy. Again, I think it was what I just mentioned. I mean, this covers 0.06% of U.S. consumption. The vast majority of goods that our small businesses trade in are made in the USA or they're duty-free. So this is something where we don't actually expect a huge impact. I mean, the Canadian situation may be different for them. I know they view it differently, of course, and that's fine. But for the U.S. small business, for the U.S. manufacturer, for the U.S. worker, this is a way for us actually to try to get wine and spirits back on the shelves in Canada. It's a way to make sure that our small dairy farmers who have had very limited access into Canada for a long time. So we're actually worried about our small businesses to make sure they get the kind of access they need.
We'll continue to keep you updated as these talks progress between Canada and the United States and the latest details there. Let's talk about a trial unfolding in Boston, Massachusetts. Part of this closing arguments are expected this week in the Lindsay Clancy trial, and specifically, we understand that the prosecution has called a rebuttal witness just today. Lindsay Clancy's murder trial will soon be in the hands of the jury, who will have to decide if she's going to prison for murder or to a mental health facility. Prosecutors are wrapping up their argument, saying that Lindsay Clancy intentionally killed her 3 children. Back on the stand Monday, one doctor, Avram Mack, a psychiatrist who testified, found no indication of psychosis leading up to the killings. Clancy's attorney argues she not only suffered from postpartum psychosis, but was also over-medicated. Last week, the final defense witnesses told jurors Clancy recalled hearing a male voice commanding her to kill her children and then herself. Clancy faces life in prison without the possibility of parole if convicted of first-degree murder. If found not criminally responsible, she's going to be committed to a state mental facility and could potentially be released in the future. 18 jurors have been sitting for the case, but will randomly be narrowed down to 12 jurors for deliberations. As we continue here, I want to bring you a little closer to home. Coming up next, we're going to talk about a man who's been arrested for arson and connection to a fire. Our Ray Urena has been digging into this and will join us coming up. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being live with us here on your Monday afternoon. As always, you've got a question about anything we're covering or you want us to check out a story for you, drop it in our chat, TikTok or YouTube, and I'll make sure our assignment desk gets it and we'll get you some answers. In the meantime, let's talk about this situation unfolding in Cherokee County. We understand a man has been arrested for arson in connection to a house fire. Our Ray Urena has been digging into this one. And Ray, I understand it's a bit of a bizarre situation.
Yeah, the suspect in this case is a close relative of the homeowner, but we're going to get to those details in just a second. But because Cherokee County authorities, they have arrested Jackie Ingram. I'm going to put up a mugshot of his face up on your screen right now, and they have charged him with first-degree arson. Cherokee County firefighters tell us that they responded just before 1 o'clock to the 7500 block of Bells Ferry Road. That's in unincorporated Cherokee County to a fire. When firefighters arrived, they say they saw a home fully engulfed in flames, fully involved, and they could not go inside to search the structure just due to the intensity of the flames. Thankfully, firefighters say that every person who was inside was able to get out, but unfortunately, the homeowner's dog, whose name Casey, that dog unfortunately was not able to escape and did pass away. Now, we're going back to the homeowner in this case because the suspect in this case is the brother-in-law of the homeowner. The homeowner's name is Lori Ingram, and Lori tells us that her brother-in-law, he was living with her and her husband at that home, and she says that her brother-in-law has a documented history of mental illness, and they have tried several times over the years to get him help for that mental illness. So that's why the brother-in-law was living with them. And according to Lori, right after midnight, her husband, who she says is actually terminal with end-stage liver cancer, woke them up in the middle of the night saying, hey, there's a flash of light, we need to get out. And by that moment, and by the time they reached the door, Lori says that her house was full of flames and full of black smoke. And again, every person that was in there was able to get out, but the dog, Casey, was not. We spoke to both fire officials and the homeowner, Lori Ingram, earlier today. Here's what both had to say.
Their first course of action was to make sure that there were no victims inside, which they were able to do, and then they transitioned into a defensive attack to make sure that that did not spread to surrounding areas.
Friends and neighbors have really shown out and helped us. We appreciate all of you and appreciate the officers and the fire department that came out here with us last night, and we stayed for hours and hours and hours.
Lori tells me that the neighbors have been such a big help, and she's so appreciative of all the help that they have offered her family so far. She says that the neighbors are trying to set up a fundraiser right now to help support her family as they figure out their next steps. I just talked to the sheriff's office not too long ago, and they say that the suspect in this case is expected to appear in front of a judge tomorrow afternoon for a bond hearing right here at the Cherokee County Jail. Ariel?
Ray, just devastating. My heart goes out to her. Real quick question before I let you get back to it. Have police released any details on a motive, anything like that, to understand further why this may have happened?
No, as of right now, the cause is still under investigation, and investigators, Lori is kind of like the most eye-opening thing that we've had in this case, is because Lori says that her brother does have a documented history of mental illness. We're not going into the exact specifics of that mental illness, but Lori says that her brother-in-law did have a documented history of mental illness, and police have not said anything about the cause. They say they're still working on the point of origin. They're hoping to have more information either later on today or tomorrow.
Okay, Ray, thank you so much. We'll continue to get the latest from you as you gather new details throughout the afternoon. You guys, we're going to move on here and let Ray get back to gathering information. I want to call out in our chat, Scarlett is asking, what is going on at Plant Yates in Coweta County? Huge police presence and everyone is being evacuated. Our assignment manager's walking by and heard me talk about this, so she'll start digging into it. Okay, so it sounds like our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza, just walking by, she overheard our conversation. It sounds like there could be a potential bomb threat. This has not been confirmed. Police are looking into the situation, and we are getting new details. As soon as we get those confirmed details from police, we will let you know. But since you're asking about it, Scarlett, and curious about why people are being evacuated, that could be the reason. We'll let you know when we have something officially confirmed, but we are looking into it. In the meantime, let's talk about a new mural that is coming to an overpass near I-285 at Mount Wilkerson Bridge. Our Chris Rosenthal joins us live. All smiles, Chris, because you got a pretty sweet assignment. What's this mural going to look like, and where specifically is this for people who don't know?
Yeah, this is going to be on the Mount Wilkerson Bridge overpass. It goes over 285. You won't see this mural from 285, but you will see it from Mount Wilkerson, from the bridge, from the upper part of it. We actually have Cole Fail. He is the muralist here. He's actually working on painting it now. He's got his VR goggles. I'm going to explain that a little bit here in a minute. But yeah, this mural will eventually be on both sides. This was commissioned by the Cumberland CID and One Cumberland, and a lot of partnerships from the Home Depot Foundation and Pittsburgh Paint Group here to help out, pay for this, and also provide volunteers to help paint this project here. But today is day one, and you see Cole's got these goggles he's using. This is kind of a new approach here for painting. Tell me, how does this work? What do you do with the goggles?
So I've created the design on the computer, and so typically I would project it from a projector, old school, or grid it out. But with this, it allows me the cameras allow me to see you guys, and then my graphic is locked here on the wall. It goes all the way down, and it's daylight. Unlike the other methods we have to project at night, this I can do in the daytime, and it locks in. It gives me so much more flexibility for different applications. It's perfect for this situation where I couldn't project from the middle of the road with a projector and get the image over here, or grid it out would take forever. So this is a good way to do it super fast.
Yeah.
And it works really good.
Yeah, I mean, Cole let me have a look through, have a peek in his goggles earlier, and you may just see a bunch of gray right here, but he's traced out some of it here. But when you look through the goggles, you actually see the artwork placed right here on the walls here. So. Now, there are going to be volunteers that are going to be able to help, people from the community. That's kind of unique. What's that like for you as an artist to have it be more of a communal experience?
Well, usually I'm painting it in and I have some helpers, but in this situation, I've designed it in a way that it's easier to paint in for the volunteers. So it's the complexity is where the volunteers can handle painting each section without it being like shading and things like that. So it's very interesting to design something for other people to paint. But I'm really excited to be able to work with the community, with One Cumberland and Home Depot and all the other guys. It's an amazing opportunity to work with so many different people. So I'm really curious to see how it's going to come together with all the volunteers. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a paint by numbers here with all the patterns and all the shapes here. What will it look like here when we're done?
Well, it's got a lot of colors. So the One Cumberland brand logo, or their brand style, is a certain combination of colors and patterns. And then I've taken their brand image, and then I've kind of gotten creative with it. They gave me some creative license with it, so it goes kind of crazy and it goes back to more of their standard. But it's a lot of different cool colors mixed together to represent Cumberland throughout the city.
Well, we'll let you get back to it here, Cole. So Cole's out here today painting it. This should be finished up, they say, by about early October. And community can also come out here and help. September 19th will be a day where you can sign up and come out and volunteer and help paint this as well.
Oh, cool, Chris. Cole Fail, the muralist, using a virtual reality headset to get the lines clean, to do the artwork, and then when it's done, it'll be really colorful and we'll all be able to enjoy it. So, Chris Rosenthal, thanks for introducing us to this. We'll see you again here upcoming at 3 o'clock. You guys, taking a look at our timing here, coming up next, I want to get a check of our Atlanta Braves as they head into some pretty big games. Atlanta Braves hosted our Eli Eli Jordan to show off some of the things at Truist Park that they've got rolling out. We'll join him coming up. Ariel Onstadt, thanks so much for joining us live here at 2 o'clock on your Monday afternoon. Listen, I want to let you guys know that Georgia Power has confirmed there is a bomb threat at a power plant in Coweta County. I believe that is Plant Yates. We had here Scarlett in our TikTok chat asking what was going on, saying that there's a huge police presence and everyone is being evacuated. Our assignment desk was able to confirm with Georgia Power that they are investigating a bomb threat. Nothing else is confirmed right now, but as we get any new details regarding that, we will let you know immediately. In the meantime, let's talk about some new offerings coming to Truist Park ahead of some big games. That we're looking at some homestand matchups rather, featuring the Braves against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're playing August 25th to the 27th, the Colorado Rockies and San Francisco Giants. So our Eli Jordan went to Truist Park to check it all out and joins us live. Eli, it's great to see you. What's going on?
Hey, Ariel, good afternoon. Yeah, they had us had all the media in to check out the Pen. It's a nice little where you can go get some food and get some drink and all that good stuff. And they had a lot of little items because this last half of August is going to be quite the gauntlet for the Braves, all here at home, starting tomorrow through next Monday. Tomorrow, 3-game stretch. We got the LA Dodgers. We got then Friday through Sunday, we got the Colorado Rockies, and then Monday we got a makeup game with the Giants. And they're pulling out all the stops for the fans to come out here and really cheer on the home team, the Braves. And they got food specific for each of the series. They got some bobbleheads coming up, and also something that's really interesting are player designed hats. And I spoke with Elise Spade earlier today about those hats, and here's what she had to say.
So these two were designed by Ronald Acuna Jr. So part of a collection that we have where he designed the caps. The first pink one is an inspiration from his native Venezuela with the sunset and palm tree and the Braves A on the side. And the second cap design here was what he wanted to honor his second home of Atlanta with the skyline on the side. And there's a peach logo on the back as well to kind of go along with Atlanta and his second home, he said. So he loved to honor both of his homes and showing off for his Braves fans.
And so these are available tomorrow?
These Acuna hats are available in Threads tomorrow, which is a store here at the ballpark on our left field side. So they're exclusive to our Threads store, which is a fashion-forward, trendy store that we have, very different than the main Braves Clubhouse store. When the gates open tomorrow, available at Threads.
Cool, awesome. And people will have to wait for these though, right?
That's right. These are not going to be available until Friday. So exclusively announcing that these Chipper Jones design hats will be available in Threads on Friday.
So these will be ready for when the Rockies come to town.
That's right. And he is a very big outdoorsman, so he had a camo inspiration, of course, for one of his hats. And then the two gray ones, he has a famous I love you hand signal that he would do to his fans as he came across the home plate usually when he played. So he wanted to put that on there, and then both hats have the number 10, block 10 on the side as well.
Well, we got some like heavy duty hats over here, don't we?
That's right. These are a Carhartt 47 brand collaboration. So the durability of Carhartt that fans know already, mix it with Braves. We've got a mesh trucker style and a captain style as well. A hitch style.
Cool, very cool.
And these are available in the Braves Clubhouse store, as well as our out of the park truck, mobile truck, which goes all across Atlanta and will be in the Atlanta area throughout September.
All throughout September. But then, so if you get the tickets package for the Dodgers, on Thursday you can get your Draco Baldwin bobblehead. If you get your ticket package for the Colorado Rockies, on Friday you can get your HBCU snare drummer bobblehead. Now, the remaining weekday games all the way through Friday, this is including all of the Dodgers games and one Colorado Rocky games, starting tomorrow through Friday. Games start at 7:15, gates open at 5:30. Then on Saturday, against the Colorado Rockies, we have a 4:10 game, and the gates open at 1:30. And then Sunday, it's a 1:35 game, and the gates open at 11:30. And then you can get first 15,000 on Saturday. We'll get a camo jersey, Chipper Jones jersey, and first 15,000 fans entering on Saturday. So that's cool. So there's a lot to offer for the fans of the Braves here. If you want to come on down here, we got a whole week. Take the rest of the week off, Ariel. Just sit in the stands, have yourself some good food, have a beer, get yourself a bobblehead, and just watch baseball from tomorrow until Monday, and then you can come back on Tuesday and host the shows again. Back to you.
Looking forward to it, Eli. Maybe I'll take advantage. If you don't see me one day, maybe I'm going to be checking out a Braves game. Eli Jordan, thanks for letting us know what's going on. Maybe I'll catch some cooler temps too, Eli. Who knows? We'll see you upcoming at 3. In the meantime, you guys, continuing on here, we are gearing up for the 3 o'clock to begin with Tom Haynes. We have about a minute, and in the minute or so that we have, I'd like to listen in live to President Trump and Education Secretary Linda McMahon. They're talking about expanding school choice and returning education to the states. Take a listen.
Classrooms and results, supporting evidence-based literacy instruction, pouring record funding into charter schools, and energizing workforce training. Key decisions that once sat with bureaucrats here in Washington, D.C. are moving to where they belong, to the hands of educators, parents, and local leaders who know these children best. 6 states now hold the first ever returning education to the state waivers, freeing over $100 million from federal micromanagement. These waivers allow state leaders to direct federal dollars towards what makes the most sense for their students and not what Washington thinks is best for those students. Additionally, a record 25 states are exercising EdFlex authority, which allows them to immediately free thousands of local school districts from mountains of red tape without first having to receive approval from the Department of Education. And under President Trump's leadership, we are restoring parents' sacred role as the first decision makers in their children's lives. Children belong to their parents, not the federal government. And through the Education Freedom Tax Credit, President Trump has delivered the largest national...
Okay, you're listening in as Education Secretary Linda McMahon talks about how the Trump administration is trying to expand school choice and return a lot of power back to the states as it relates to education. We'll keep you updated on the developments to come out of this news conference from the president. In the meantime, you guys, we are gearing up for more news to come at 3 o'clock. Tom Haynes standing by. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being live with me. We'll see you here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here for the Monday edition of the 3 p.m. stream on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haynes. So happy you're with us this afternoon. Boy, what a way to kick off the work week. We've got a lot breaking this afternoon. I want to get you straight over to our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza, who's following a couple of breaking stories. One, a shooting in Avondale Estates. The other, a bomb threat at a Georgia power plant. Tanya, tell us what more you know about both these breaking situations.
Okay, Tom, let's start off with Avondale Estates. We mentioned this earlier where this morning there was a shooting at Maple and Elm Street in Avondale Estates. The police have released some new information about that shooting. They say a 53-year-old male who he sustained multiple gunshot wounds at the Harley collision this morning. He was taken to Grady Hospital. He is in critical condition, they say, and he was conscious and speaking with investigators. Here's what they found out after that. Based on physical evidence and witness accounts gathered at the scene, officers were able to identify a suspect and a suspect vehicle that had fled the location prior to law enforcement's arrival. They say that they located the female suspect, a 47-year-old female suspect's car, in a parking lot in Hateville at a McDonald's. The suspect was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head and was transported to Grady Memorial Hospital. Her condition is currently unknown. Investigators have determined that the suspect and the victim did know each other, and they are trying to find out more about the motive in this shooting. We'll have much more on that story later on this evening. Larry Sproul is working it, and he will give us any updates as they become available. Tom, I do want to get your attention real quick on this bomb threat at a Georgia power plant. It's Plant Yates, and it's over in Noonan, Coweta County. Here's why it's important. The sheriff's office in Coweta County, if you can see right here, on their Facebook page, they have put out some sort of like urgent community alert saying there's currently a large police presence investigating a possible bomb threat at Plant Yates on Dyer Road. They're asking that people not go in the area, and Highway 16 is shut down. We have a call out to Georgia Power, who has confirmed it. They said they're putting out a statement shortly, and our Doug Evans, who you know covers that area, he is in touch with the sheriff's office. He's going to get more information as soon as it becomes available. We are getting our chopper to fly over the scene and a photographer on the ground. As soon as we get any of those shots up, Tom, I'll let you know.
Graphical purposes, Tanya, Plant Yates, south and west of the city, down there in Noonan. So as police investigate exactly what's happening down there, we know you'll turn around information as soon as it comes into the Fox 5 Atlanta assignment desk. Tanya Mendoza, appreciate the information. We'll check back in with you. Another story that's developing this afternoon is this dog attack that we talked about in South Fulton has left an owner traumatized and a pet dead. Our Angelique Proctor live in South Fulton, and we have audio, we understand, of this incident, Angelique, and you spoke to police about possible charges against the owner of the dog. What more are we hearing here?
Well, let's start with that audio. It is pretty chilling. This homeowner is very much devastated by her Yorkie being killed. She says she was taking the dog out for a walk when another dog in the neighborhood just attacked. She says she saw the dog. She realized that that dog was targeting her dog, and she just didn't know what to do, how to respond. She picked the dog up, but it just wasn't enough. She said that dog just tore into her little baby, just really almost pulling the dog apart, and it's just a very, very disturbing story. Now, I did talk to South Fulton Police. They tell me they are not sure if there are going to be any charges, that Animal Control now has taken over this investigation. I put a call into Animal Control to try to get more information from them. But take a look at this Yorkie, just an incredible little dog, 11 pounds, just adorable. She says she'd had this Yorkie that she calls Ace since 2018, bought the dog for her daughter, and of course that dog had become just like a member of the family, according to the owner. And she says she is just so upset. She decided not to talk to us today about it because she says it's all just too fresh, because she actually watched her dog being killed or attacked right before her eyes. So just a very, very disturbing situation. But we did talk to a neighbor, the president of the Homeowners Association, and we're going to let you hear a little bit of the audio of the actual attack occurring. So we want to warn you that it may be inappropriate for young children. Take a listen.
It was sad because the neighbor who it happened to, she always follows the leash law. She always does what she's supposed to do, and she's a responsible pet owner. And the fact that a neighbor had a previous issue with that dog and it was ignored by the resident is disturbing. It was really, really sad. I hope that she gets the justice that she needs on that issue.
So what do you think justice would look like?
She needs to sue for some assets and make sure that she's compensated for her loss.
And so Fulton County Animal Control did pick the dog up, and as you heard the HOA president say that another neighbor had complained about this very dog, so no doubt all of that will be a part of this investigation, because on this day, this Yorkie is now deceased, and this family just really upset by the whole thing, Tom.
You can imagine the audio, as you said, Angelique, is difficult to listen to, especially when you see the pictures of that little dog. You can understand why the family is so heartbroken this afternoon. Angelique Proctor, live for us in South Fulton this afternoon. Appreciate it, Angelique. Thanks so much. Want to get now to a story in Atlanta where a homeowner got a front row seat to a burglary in progress, helping police catch a suspect red-handed in a southwest Atlanta area. Officers responded to a home on Beecher Street around 7:40 on August the 15th after the homeowner spotted a man on live security camera. All right, the victim stayed on the line with 911 dispatchers, watching the suspect break directly into the home's crawl space to steal copper wire, we understand. When police arrived at the scene, they caught the suspect in the act. Police say he tried to run from officers on foot, but was quickly apprehended and taken into custody. Police have identified the suspect as 44-year-old Travis Taylor, now facing multiple charges, including first-degree burglary, possession of burglary tools, and obstruction. Officers have yet to confirm if Taylor is linked to any other recent break-ins in that area. A former East Point police officer is back in a Fulton County courtroom today facing retrial charges on sexual assault charges years after his first trial ended in a partial mistrial. Richard Goodine was originally indicted on 17 counts back in 2018, including child molestation and sexual assault by a law enforcement officer accused of abusing women and children while on duty. Back in 2022, a jury acquitted Goodine on 7 charges, but deadlocked on the remaining 10 counts. Jurors later revealing a single holdout refused to deliberate with the rest of the panel. Now prosecutors are moving forward with retrying him on those unresolved charges, the most serious of which Goodine faces is aggravated sexual battery, which carries a potential life sentence if he is convicted. News from the campaign trail making headlines this afternoon in the race for governor. An intense clash playing out on the campaign trail in Georgia's race for the CEO seat of our state. Democratic nominee Keisha Lance Bottoms running into Republican nominee Rick Jackson outside an event in Atlanta. Bottoms demanding he keep her family out of campaign advertising. The confrontation sparked over recent Jackson ad criticizing Bottoms regarding taxpayer funds used to purchase a Super Bowl plane ticket for her husband while she was mayor, an expense Bottoms reimbursed and said was a mistake. Listen to what happened.
I'm fair game. Please stay away from my family.
I hear you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like your outfit.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, so Jackson defended the ad at a weekend campaign stop, continuing to point to her past expenses as mayor. Both candidates are stepping up campaigns across the state as they compete to succeed Governor Brian Kemp in November. Well, a Spalding County deputy is in urgent need of help as she battles kidney disease. This is a story that our Doug Evans is following for us with details on a community effort to help the deputy and her husband. Doug?
Hi, good afternoon, Tom. I want to introduce you to Jeremy and Heather Raper. Heather is a Spalding County deputy. She's been on the force there for, I think, 6 years. She's been out of work for a year, though, in desperate health. She has polycystic kidney disease. It's kept her from work. Recently, just this month, she was at Emory Hospital in Atlanta, had her left kidney removed because of it. Her right kidney's failing, has a function of only 12%. She's going to need a kidney transplant. Right now, they are in desperate need, both financially, emotionally, spiritually as well, and the community is rallying behind them. I want to share with you now a conversation that I had with Jeremy and Heather at their home in Spalding County.
I'm very grateful for it. I really, really am. Because I couldn't do this on my own. I definitely couldn't do it if Jeremy wasn't here helping me. Because there's no way. There's no way. And then without the support, we wouldn't be able to do it either. Because there's days that it's just very difficult.
It's also rough when, getting the news that we got 2 weeks ago, and this week's kind of been rough on me mentally, because you're sitting beside somebody that, for better for worse, and you're kind of in that, I guess, that we're grieving what if she does go, and trying to enjoy the most memories you can with her and enjoy it. It's just a weird spot to be in.
That's not where you think you'd be at right now.
Right.
Not this soon into our life together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long have you guys been married now? I know I wrote it down in my notes.
Right at a year now.
Yeah, that's right. Jeremy and Heather have only been married a year. Right after they exchanged vows, man, her health really took a turn for the worse, and she has been in bad shape. In fact, Tom, just last night they rushed her back to Emory for a second emergency surgery this month. And so that is where she is right now, recuperating after a long surgery. There is a GoFundMe that I want to tell you about. You can search on this. If you go to the GoFundMe page, they do have a search bar there, so you can search on things. It's called the Help Jeremy and Heather Through Surgery and Beyond, set up by a friend. Listen, I cover a lot of these stories. This couple, they're seeking a very modest amount. Considering the pile of bills that they're looking at. I was surprised by that. I hope they get every single dime of it, because they certainly need it and deserve it, Tom.
I want to mention it one more time, the GoFundMe, which I'm sure we have listed on our website as a link, but if you could just say it one more time, because I think you're right. Every penny counts for this couple who, as you said, is not asking for a lot, just a little bit of help.
Yeah, I think the goal is like $6,500, right? That ain't nothing, man. It's the Help Jeremy and Heather Through Surgery and Beyond.
All right, and I'm so impressed. Sometimes I articulate my observations to you at this couple. What are they? They've been married a year? I mean, that's incredible. At their composure.
A year.
Their composure and their good-heartedness through this difficult time.
Yeah, Tom, listen, they've been through a lot. They live it every single day. I noticed the exact same thing. It's got to be terrifying. I'm sure that there are moments of terror for them. But I can tell you one thing. One thing that Heather told me is that her faith is very, very strong. Mm-hmm. She's a very religious person, and I think that they find comfort and support and strength through their faith.
You can tell just by their demeanor in that interview you did with them. Doug Evans reporting live for us this afternoon about that Spalding County deputy in need of a kidney. Step up, help out if you can. We know our viewers and our streamers here are very, very generous. Doug, thanks so much. Want to talk about a situation with loved ones desperately searching for answers this afternoon after a Florida woman vanished months after moving to Georgia. Who are we talking about? 59-year-old Catrice Simmons moved from Pensacola to Atlanta in April to live with a man that she met online, that her family last heard from her back on May the 19th, when their daughter says that Simmons sounded in distress. So her phone has gone straight to voicemail ever since. Her car, nowhere to be found. Family members have traveled to Atlanta, searching shelters, morgues, fearing the worst.
We will reach out to one of her daughters. She's going to always keep in touch with one of them, or my brother, or her son. And none of them have, I mean, that's the alarming part.
By December, they stated, she stated to family that she was going to get, she was engaged to him, soon to be married. By April, she moved here. By May, she went missing.
All we want to know is where she is. Where is her car? Where is her phone? Where is she?
Where are her belongings? I believe there might be a possibility that my auntie is dead.
We've gone to the shelters. We've gone to the morgues. My son has done everything. Typed her name in to search, and there is no Catrice.
Atlanta police are investigating her disappearance right now. Anybody with information on her whereabouts is asked to contact police. The United States Postal Service issues new mail-in voting rules. An unpublished version of the rule was put into effect in the Federal Registry back on Friday. It indicated that the agency will move forward with President Trump's executive order that would require the United States Postal Service to decide who can receive mail-in ballots. A federal judge recently expanded an earlier injunction against the order, which blocked USPS from implementing this rule for the year's midterm elections. Despite the ruling, the agency's move on Friday means it will be available to officially publish this upcoming Wednesday. Atlanta is getting a major healthcare boost as Morehouse School of Medicine and Atrium Health announced plans for a $700 million teaching hospital in South Atlanta. The new medical center will be located on Metropolitan Parkway, filling a critical healthcare gap left behind when two area hospitals closed nearly 4 years ago. This is kind of an outline of what it's going to look like and where it's going to be. The facility expected to open with 50 beds, with plans to eventually expand to more than 700 beds. So it's going to be a growing facility featuring 24-hour emergency department service and a level 3 trauma center, along with obstetrics, critical care, and advanced imaging services. You know, last week, Moderna and Merck reached a promising result from a large phase 3 trial of a personalized mRNA vaccine designed to help the immune system fight melanoma. It was a huge announcement and a huge development. So how does a cancer vaccine work, and could this technology eventually be used against other cancers? It's important information and an amazing story. Our Elise Edie spoke with Emory University's Dr. Neil Winnower about it.
Start by just discussing the trial.
They took over 1,000 patients. These patients had melanoma stages 2B to 4, and they looked at them. All of them had their tumors resected, and they followed them out for over a year. One half got a treatment called Keytruda. The other half got Keytruda plus this personalized cancer vaccine that we'll get into, and they followed them out for a year. And it turns out that the group that got the cancer vaccine and the Keytruda had a statistically significant reduction in the cancer recurrence and spread. We don't know how much, but we know that in a phase 2 trial in January, it was a 49% reduction. So the reason why this is important, it's a phase 3 trial. They used over 10 times as many patients, over 1,000 patients. So if it was statistically significant, it's that much closer to gaining FDA approval, and that's why Moderna's stock went through the roof last week because of the positive signs. We still don't know exactly what those were, but they were good.
So how does the mRNA cancer vaccine work?
Yeah, this is amazing. They take the tumor and the patient's blood and they sequence it and they find 34 of the most common proteins that are identifiable to that tumor, and they make a vaccine. They use a computer algorithm to make a vaccine to it. Think of it as a molecular wanted poster. They basically say these are the 34 most identifiable features. If it was a person, it would be 6 foot, 200 pounds, brown hair, whatever features last seen here. And the immune system then is aware of these 34 different proteins. And the thing about melanoma, after it's resected, it unfortunately likes to recur, come back. So when it does come back, the immune system is like, aha, I recognize 34 different parts of this cancer, and then it's able to respond a lot quicker and is able to kill those cancer cells faster. So that's the amazing thing. It basically gives it a blueprint what to look for, which is identifiable specifically to that person's tumor, because each tumor has different genetics.
So that's what makes this different than like a COVID vaccine or many other vaccines, is that this one is specific to each person.
Yes, when millions of people get the mRNA vaccine, the body is saying, look out for this one offender, the same genetics of this virus, but each tumor has different genetic mutations. And that's why this is amazing, because you're training the body to look for the specifics of this tumor and then go find it. So it is different, the vaccine, which is really, it's just a personalized approach.
So is this, why, I guess, is it combined with Keytruda? Is that a type of chemotherapy?
It's an immunotherapy. It's called a checkpoint inhibitor. The immune system has natural breaks in it because the immune system can't be attacking its own body. Cancer cells have a very good way of shutting off the immune system's way to help fight them. Keytruda is a drug that basically blocks that pathway, so it lets the immune system attack. It takes the foot off the brake, basically. So now what you're combining is you're telling the immune system what to look for, and then you're taking its foot off the brakes and allowing it to then be synergistic, and they work together effectively more than the Keytruda alone.
So we're out of time, but I want to ask you this quickly. Could this approach work for other cancers?
100%. That's why there's the excitement. Lung, bladder, kidney, pancreas, stomach, they're all being investigated now, and stay tuned. The thing about melanoma, it has a lot of mutations, so it really lends itself to this type of treatment, but there's no reason why you can't apply it to other tumors, hopefully, and stay tuned. I hope so.
Promising.
Very, very promising. It's amazing.
Dr. Neil Winnower with us today talking about this groundbreaking trial happening with this mRNA vaccine. So, Dr. Winnower, good to see you.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Elise, Dr. Winnower, thanks so much to both of you. We have breaking news just into the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom that I want to bring you. The story we just did on the Florida woman who was missing has apparently been found. Want to tell you what we know right now. Catrice Simmons, the daughter, has reported that she's been found. Atlanta police have been putting out an alert. The Florida woman who moved here from Pensacola, who apparently had met somebody online, went missing. The family now says she is safe. So that is good news. Wanted to get you that breaking information as soon as it came into our newsroom. When we come back on a busy Monday afternoon of news, we're going to check in with our Fox 5 Storm team. Boy, it felt almost fallish out there this morning. There was even a little chill in the air, dare I say, compared to other mornings. We're going to check in with them to find out what the rest of the work week has in store as we continue. Welcome back here to the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local as we take a live look outside. Boy, talk about a money shot, Marquise. This is across downtown Atlanta on what has been a spectacular Monday, both morning and afternoon. There was definitely a crispness in the air this morning to be felt, more so than really any morning in recent memory. Felt a little bit like we had turned the page morning-wise here with Marquise Mita to talk about our weather from the Fox 5 Storm team. Does this signify anything? Should we have enjoyed it while it lasted, or are we headed into nicer mornings ahead?
So you always have to savor the moment, right?
Yeah.
Because we know conditions in Georgia can change pretty quickly, but they reminded me of fall.
Yeah, they did.
We are 29 days away from the start of the season for those of us counting, and it's not just fall that I'm excited for. We've got college football returning in 10 days, Labor Day just 2 weeks away, also Columbus Day, Halloween. Labor Day is a little bit quicker than that, as a matter of fact, but regardless, though, looking forward to a lot going on here, and we can just keep the good times rolling. Want to stretch out these clear skies for as long as we can, and even despite all this consistent sunshine, what we've had so far today are temperatures that have been trending a little bit cooler than we were at this point in time last week. So check it out, 91, that's where we've peaked so far today. A little bit more clouds out along the airport. Winds coming in from the west right now, keeping conditions rather dry, and your relative humidity, that sits at 36%. So dry all across the board. Some areas, of course, a little bit cooler than others. Above I-20, you're back in the upper 80s in Rome, Canton, Gainesville, Blairsville, 81 degrees, Covington 93, Eatonton 95. Nice to see there. And as we continue across the rest of the day, I don't think those temperatures, Tom, are going to warm up too much. Dew points, though, this really tells the story of how dry we are. Anytime dew points are back in the 60s or the upper 50s, well, that's a good sign for us. Still going to check the sensor at Dalton. I don't think 87 is a true rating of their dew point. I know temperatures, though, are in the upper 80s. What we'll see tonight, though, a few extra clouds entering the picture. You still have that north and westerly breeze here across northern Georgia, so you might be waking up to partly, if not mostly, cloudy skies out towards the east in Athens, Covington, and Eatonton. But throughout the week, slowly over time, these rain chances are really amplifying, especially on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's when we see that 40 to 60% coverage of showers and storms. With a cold front moving in, that'll drop your temperatures just in time for the work week to come to its close. But this front is going to produce a few showers, especially on the back end of your work week stretch once it crosses over, which is why we have that rain chance amplifying Thursday and Friday with that 60% coverage. The front kind of just lingers, though, heading into the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, almost just becoming a stationary boundary. And with that in mind, we'll be trending a little bit drier over the course of the weekend coming up. Still, though, I think throughout the work week, one of your top headlines is most certainly going to be the temperature shift taking place. So if you're staying in Atlanta for the East Lake Golf Club tournament, the Tour Championship, we might have some delays, maybe a cancellation Thursday and Friday, with temperatures, though, back in the upper 80s. So the fall-like temperatures might be here as we wrap up your work week. But think about this. We will still have to battle that chance for some showers. So you might have to trade in your sunglasses for an umbrella as the work week comes to its close. But just in time for the weekend, we dry out again. Temperatures return to the lower 90s. But if you're a fan of cooler conditions, look no further than Thursday and Friday. That's Tom, for the first time in a long time, your highs are back in the upper 80s.
And we just love walking out in the morning and feeling that coolness, that crispness, something we've been longing for
nice.
a long time.
Actually, temps in the mountains this morning, those were back in the 50s.
Wow. Yeah, Blairsville's been lucky, haven't they, this season?
Yeah.
I mean, they're always sitting up in the high 70s or low 80s.
It's like they're the little anomaly here.
Yeah, they are.
Georgia.
That is the temperature anomaly. The meters are working just fine up there, aren't they? All right. Marquise, thanks so much. Want to talk about events happening overseas, specifically in Iran. As military options become more limited, Iran is increasingly turning to digital battlefields to strike critical infrastructure. Hackers linked to Iran being blamed for a cyber attack that forced a British power plant to shut down for 4 days last month. A possible retaliation for the UK allowing the US to use British bases. British energy officials are now warning other power companies concerns about an elevated risk of attacks. Did you hear about the significant trade war that has now been escalated with Canada? Well, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says that he's rejected last-minute demands from the United States after talks broke down. U.S. tariffs of 50% on $20 billion worth of Canadian goods took effect Saturday. Canada has promised to retaliate dollar for dollar. The U.S. trade representative spoke out about all this.
Preparing options for the president. Again, I think this is a little bit of a tempest in a teapot. The tariffs went into place over the weekend, which we warned about for a long time. They only cover about 5% of Canadian trade and only 0.06% of U.S. overall consumption. So we'll see. I mean, we're just moving forward with our trade policy as intended. The Canadians came to us about 30 days ago, said they want to negotiate. We said okay. Negotiations ended up not working out, so we're just continuing with our trade policy. Again, I think it was what I just mentioned. I mean, this covers 0.06% of U.S. consumption. The vast majority of goods that our small businesses trade in are made in the USA or they're duty-free. So this is something where we don't actually expect a huge impact. I mean, the Canadian situation may be different for them. I know they view it differently, of course, and that's fine. But for the U.S. small business, for the U.S. manufacturer, for the U.S. worker, this is a way for us actually to try to get wine and spirits back on the shelves in Canada. It's a way to make sure that our small dairy farmers who have had very limited access into Canada for a long time. So we're actually worried about our small businesses to make sure they get the kind of access they need.
Tensions increased further today when President Trump announced that he will double tariffs on Canadian cars and trucks to 50% as of January the 1st. Democrats warned the ongoing standoff risks alienating one of America's closest allies. Well, the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy could be in the hands of a Massachusetts jury by tomorrow, we understand. Prosecutors wrapped up rebuttal testimony today, calling a psychiatrist who testified Clancy suffered from depression but showed no evidence of psychosis before strangling her 3 children. Her defense argues the former nurse was suffering from postpartum psychosis and over-medicated, hearing voices commanding her to kill her children and herself. If convicted of first-degree murder, Clancy faces life in prison without the possibility of parole, a trial that we will continue to watch. Still a lot more ahead for you on this Monday afternoon. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour, everybody. I'm Tom Haynes, your host here live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Appreciate you streaming with us on our free Fox Local mobile app. If you're watching on your mobile device or on one of your live channels at home, we're happy you're with us this afternoon as well. We're all over social media, so if you're on one of our social media platforms at Fox 5 Atlanta, happy you're with us this afternoon. Or if you're driving about town, on our radio partner, 107.9 HD2 FM. We are glad you're with us today. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. Every Monday, Friday, we're going to talk sports. And today, it's all about the Falcons. What happened over the weekend, giving Falcons fans a lot to talk about headed into the season, especially with that beatdown of the Colts. Here to break it all down for us, the host of the Waterboy Show, Trey Montgomery. Be Rich. Gents, thanks for coming back, hanging with us on the 3 p.m. stream. First and foremost, Michael Penix Jr. back on the field, officially cleared by doctors. Is this right back to being QB, or is there going to be a tussle with Tua coming into the season?
Well, when we think about Michael Penix coming back, this is what this means for me and what it means for the team. We finally, ladies and gentlemen, we can have a quarterback competition. Because I think before, as long as Michael Penix was hurt and as long as he was trying to rehab back from that knee injury, it was Tua's job. And it was Tua's job. Couldn't even lose it. There was no one to take the job from him. And we know coming into this season, we need top quarterback play, and we need Penix to be on the field and available so the best man can win the job. We need our coach to put the best man out there. So welcome back, Penix. We're glad to have you back. Now this QB competition can get started.
Yeah, we got game 3 coming up against Miami, and I am looking forward to Michael Penix getting some playing time. Hopefully he gets a whole quarter to play. He was our overall top 10 pick, number 9, 2 years ago. So I definitely want to see Penix come out there and fight Tua for the job. I really want to see him win. I'm pulling for him.
Is competition among quarterbacks on a team necessarily a good thing, or is it good to have one guy and focus your singular attention on him?
Well, as you saw last year, that's what they did with Raheem Morris, the regime. They had given Penix the starter over Kirk Cousins. I think that was a mistake. I think they should have had a competition to compete for it. That only makes you better. Competition makes you great.
Oh yeah, like B-Rich said, listen, you want to have a guy. When you have a guy who has proven that he's the guy, we don't need a QB competition. All that time with Matt Ryan, we knew Matt Ryan was the guy.
Exactly.
No question. This is our guy. But until you are sold on that guy, hey, let's put him in. Let the best man win. These are all athletes who play at a high level. They're used to competing. I think they go into it knowing that there's a challenge, and each of them raises their game up. What they say, like the tide raises all ships. So listen, in a QB competition, I feel like that's what's happening. So let the best man win. And I think that'll be the best thing for the team.
All right, let's talk about a guy who might not have the same recognition as Penix or Tua. We're talking about Jack Strand, looking awesome this weekend. Did he do enough, guys, to make the final roster after his performance?
Oh, heck yeah. Jack Strand really showed that he could be an NFL quarterback. He's 6'5", 6'4", has a cannon of an arm. He made all the right throws. I know people say, hey, it's preseason. But, hey, some of those throws weren't preseason. Some of those perfectly dropped bombs right into the pocket, man, right into the hands was something that you wanted to see. And what was cool, Matt Ryan was in the booth talking to the commentators, and right when he was talking, Jack Strand ran a long touchdown, like a 20-yard touchdown for the score while Matt Ryan was calling it, man, and Matt Ryan was really excited. I think Jack Strand really, really showed us by being an undrafted free agent, coming in, doing this thing. I'm proud of him, man. What you got to say, Trey?
Listen, when you talk about how you're going to develop a quarterback and how you're going to evaluate a quarterback, we understand that Jack Strand is playing against backups, but it's levels to everything. What Meek Mill said is levels to this, right? And so Jack Strand is at the first level. You have to prove, just like Mike Tyson Punch-Out, you got to get through all the scrubs to get to the top level. Right now, Jack Strand is playing at the lower level as far as what he has to show, and he's showing that he's a step above them. He's making the right throws. He's showing pocket awareness. He's putting touch on the football. He's scrambling, getting outside the pocket. He ran for a touchdown, ran for a first down. He hit Cash Jones over on the screen in the flat to take it in for a touchdown. He's showing that, okay, this is a guy we can put some time into, we can develop and get him from this level to the next level. And so go Strand. As a matter of fact, one of our listeners and followers and supporters of our show said it's stranding on business. So shout out to Jack Strand.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, Tom and Trey, he didn't take any reps the past week in Indianapolis. He just sat and watched and retained what he saw and came out and performed on a top-notch level.
A quarterback, in my judgment anyway, is only as good as his offensive line, his receivers. So do these guys have sort of the line in front of them that they need to succeed?
All right, Tom, let's talk about that. So Jake Matthews, he been here forever. I feel like Jake Matthews was here the same time Moses got his first pair of shoes, all right? That's how long that's how long Jake Matthews has been in the league and been playing for the Falcons. And we're lucky to have a left tackle who's played that long. We have Bergeron at the guard position. We have Newsel in the center. And then, of course, we have our guy Lindstrom in the right guard. Now, where we are a little shaky and where we are a little iffy, have to see Caleb McGarry, our right tackle, retired, as we all know, in the offseason. And so we have some guys that are fighting for that position. Let's see how it shakes out. I think that we're okay. Once we know that right tackle position is sold up and we have a guy that we can trust, we brought in a couple guys, we brought in Taylor, we brought in a couple other guys, then I will feel like it's 100% confident. But I feel like the line is moving in the right direction. Right tackle just has to be sewn up.
And keep in mind, the right tackle is both our quarterbacks are left-handed. Tua's left-handed, and that's their blind side. Penix left-handed. So the right tackle is one of the most important line positions on this team. So we really got to hope they pull through this year.
All right, real quick, guys. Coming off 34-6 blowout in Indy. Who grabbed your attention the most this weekend, and who do you think's in real danger of getting cut out?
Okay, well, I'll do the offense. I think Jack Strand, of course, I think he raised his stock. I don't think he'll get cut. And another undrafted free agent, a rookie from Georgia, Cash Jones, man. He really showed his butt out there this week, man. He caught a touchdown. He ran for a few first downs, caught a few first downs, played on special teams. He just was your all-around utility knife, man. So Cash Jones, one person that I feel the stock is going down is Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, he had a good game. But his ceiling, we know where Cooper Rush is. We know what that we have in there. Jack Strand could take us, you don't know what he could be. So I think Cooper Rush probably will not make this team.
And when I take the defense, listen, we have a guy, a rookie, playing linebacker that is playing like his hair is on fire. All parents out there, all parents, grandparents, I know you saw the movie Inside Out. That man is looking like the emotion of anger. That man is playing like his hair is on fire, running from sideline to sideline, knocking people out the same way he did in college. Kendall Daniels, his stock is way up. He went from being a rookie that we wanted to see how he could be developed to, because of Divine Diablo suffering an injury in camp, Kendall Daniels had to step in, take the green dot. That's the guy on defense that's calling the plays, getting everybody in line. A lot of responsibility, especially for a rookie. He's handling everything in stride. Coaches are saying nothing but good things about him, and we are seeing it out on the field. Now, when I talk about who is taking a thumbs down right now, a guy that I personally liked coming out of college, and that's our guy, Braylon Trice, outside linebacker. We thought would be a really good pass rusher. Got drafted same year as Michael Penix in the third round. He was on that team that made it to the championship game with Michael Penix, but he suffered 2 season-ending injuries before he even played a down both seasons, and he's not even logging anything on the stat sheet with a new regime that's not tied to him. That's not good. I would say, unfortunately, that young man's stock is down.
I'm liking what we're hearing so far about our Falcons, guys. Inside baseball about football. I like it. Be Rich. You serenaded of sorts the Falcons last Friday. It's called Sports Bars.
That was Trey.
Oh, it was Trey. All right.
Trey, yeah.
All right, Trey, what do you got for us today?
Okay, well, this is how we going to do it, y'all. In game 1 of the preseason, our Falcons got destroyed. In game 2, we saw our birds bounce back. So I got to give a way to go, Coach Stefanski, and a boy, do your thing to that guy, Captain Jack. Now, the hometown haters will say it's just a preseason game, and to that fact, yeah, it's well understood. But I can't lie. Anytime our birds fly high and get a win, still feels really, really good.
We need you on the big screen in the Benz before every game. How about that?
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I had someone say I was nervous. Heck yeah, I was nervous, man. We on Fox 5, Mama.
What are you talking about? Nervous? You guys are awesome. I'm the nervous one having to sit here and talk about sports, but I want to give you a plug. To find more about the Waterboys show content, follow them on social media. It's on YouTube, the Waterboys Show 404. All right, check them out. And on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at the Waterboys Show. Guys, awesome as always. We'll see you back here. How about Friday? Sound good to you?
Hey, sounds like a plan. All right, Tom, do your thing, man. Have a good one.
All right, Trey, be rich. Guys, thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, want to shift gears now. A new look coming to a busy intersection in Cobb County. Our Chris Rosenthal out there for us this afternoon, live near 285 and the Wilkinson Bridge overpass, where artist Cole Fail getting to work on a massive new community mural. Did I pronounce that name right? P-H-A-I-L, Chris.
You sure did, Tom. Yeah, so he is out here working. He's been working today. Today's the first day for him out here on the Mount Wilkinson Bridge here, the overpass over 285. When this is all said and done, both sides of this bridge will be painted and will be colored in. So, yeah, it's a lot of work ahead. It should take about a month and a half or so. This was a project commissioned by the Cumberland CID and their nonprofit One Cumberland here, and they're going to actually, really cool component of this, they're going to get volunteers out here too to come help paint as well. So really amazing project, and he's been using some special technology here to do this. Cole, tell me, you were out here a little earlier with some goggles, and tell me what you were doing that kind of makes this unique here.
So yeah, we have some VR goggles that allow me to sketch in the daytime. Typically I have to project from at night where I can see my image, but with these VR goggles the cameras allow me to see through to the wall, but the graphic is actually attached to the wall so that I can sketch it out without having to wait for it to be dark.
Yeah, it's I got to actually have a look through it. It was really cool. The wall just looks kind of gray right now, but through the goggles you see the whole mural, all the paint there. But the public is going to get to have a chance, and volunteers are going to get to have a chance to come out here and help paint this, help finish this off. I mean, what's that like to have the public involved here?
Oh, I actually love it. To be able to have a project that I got to design, and like I said, I designed it in a way that the complexity was where no matter what painting skill you have, you can come out and you can participate. So yeah, it's really cool to have the people come in and paint what I've sketched out. Instead of me having to do it all by myself, the whole community's coming together to do it. So I'm thrilled about that.
Yeah, and talk to me about that design. What will this look like? What's the inspiration for the design?
One Cumberland has a brand colors and patterns that they really like that's all over the city. You can find them everywhere. So I took that design and basically embellished it a little bit. They gave me some creative liberty to mess with their design, but I stay within their color schemes. I stay within their pattern to a degree and got real creative in the middle. You'll see it gets real fancy in the middle, and then it calms back down and gets more straight at the end. So it's a combination of One Cumberland's brand image and their coloring, and in a way that the community can have fun painting it in, because I also know how arduous it is to paint something that's too detailed. It's going to be actually kind of fun to paint in, hopefully. So looking forward to hearing if they agree or not,
Yeah, and nice to have the help. Yeah, he's gonna, all these little sections, he'll kind of do like a paint by numbers and have little dots of color, and volunteers can come in here and paint those colors in. So yeah, it's gonna be really amazing work. Something to look forward to seeing here when it's all said and done.
We can't wait to see the final results. Chris Rosenthal. Chris, thanks so much. When we come back, the Atlanta Braves return to Truist Park tomorrow to kick off an action-packed homestand. We're going to check in with our Eli Jordan, who's down there for a preview next. All right, welcome back, everybody. Braves returning to Truist Park tomorrow to kick off an action-packed homestand. We got our Eli Jordan out at the Battery this afternoon to look at the new food, Eli, which I hope you've tasted this afternoon, the new giveaways, and a brand new fan experience. Tell us all about it.
Hey, good afternoon, Tom. Yeah, your first place Braves in the National League East Division. They're doing good, and this last half of August is going to be a gauntlet for them, though. We got the Dodgers coming in for the 3-game series through Thursday, and then we got Colorado Rockies Friday through Sunday, and then we got a makeup game Monday with the Giants. So, just take off the rest of the week, come watch some baseball. But yeah, they got some bobbleheads, they got some hats, and they got some food. I talked to Jory Palmer of the Atlanta Braves marketing about it, and this is what she has to say.
We wanted to make it a really, really fun homestand for our fans. So starting on Thursday, we have our annual Harry Potter ticket package. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, we've got this Draco Baldwin bobblehead, which, is a play off of our Rookie of the Year catcher, Drake Baldwin. So we've got him in his Slytherin garb there. And Harry Potter night's really fun. We've got a lot of activations, things for folks to do. That's this Thursday. And then Friday, we've got another great ticket package at night. It's our annual HBCU night, which we do every year. There's a big party at the Coca-Cola Roxy. There's marching bands performing throughout the Battery. And then this year's item is a snare drum bobblehead. So every year the bobblehead features a different instrument in the band. So you can kind of collect them as the years go. So that's this Friday as well.
And so is this with the Dodgers ticket package?
So the Dodgers are here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and if you buy the Draco Baldwin ticket package, yes, you get a game ticket and a guaranteed bobblehead. And then Friday, the HBCU ticket package is when the Rockies come to town. So you'll get a game to the Rockies, or excuse me, a ticket to the Rockies game and the bobblehead.
Awesome. And the ticket package, what does all that include? That includes the bobblehead?
Yes. And then all of the activations or any of the parties that are associated, you get access to those.
Awesome. How much is a ticket package? Are we touching on that right now?
So actually it really just kind of depends on where you want to sit. So we've got different options, whether you want to be down low, you want to be in the outfield, you want to be up high. So whatever your budget, we've got options for you to choose from.
And I guess go to braves.com/promos.
Braves.com/promos. You'll see every single game we have coming up, any sort of ticket package, giveaway, theme night, promotion, it'll all be right there for you.
And they also have some player-designed baseball caps, and also their food. One thing in particular for the Colorado Rockies show up, they're going to have elk burgers, and that should be interesting. But for starting tomorrow through Friday, so all the LA games and one Colorado Rockies game, games are all start at 7:15, gates open at 5:30, and then on Saturday for Game 2 with the Colorado Rockies, we got a 4:10 game, gates open at 1:30, and on Sunday, well, that's an early afternoon game. That's at 1:35 against the Rockies. Gates open at 11:30, and so come check it out. And then on Monday, we got the makeup game against the Giants, and I don't have a time start for that, but that's a whole week away. You can go to braves.com/promos and find out more about that. Tom, back to you.
I mean, the Battery is a fun place to hang out, whether the Braves are playing or not, but this only adds to the excitement. Elk burgers. I wonder what that like. Anything like bison burgers? I wonder if the two taste the same.
Probably a whole lot like. Oh yeah, probably a whole lot like.
A little gamey.
Here and there, very lean. I would accept. No, well, they take the gaminess out of it because that's easy to do. But it's very lean.
Very lean. Okay.
Tasty stuff. Yeah.
I'd be willing to try one. Eli Jordan out at Truist for us this afternoon as the Braves prepare to return home. Eli. Thanks. Got it down. Appreciate you streaming with us this afternoon here at 3 o'clock. We've had so much news to get to today, and the same will be true tomorrow when you join us right back here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour. I'm Tom Haynes. Don't go anywhere. The news continues right here, right now.